actually works.
Well, Ryzen, now that we are live again, how would you like to start this stream off, Ryzen?
Let me think, actually. It's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen in the next chapter.
What makes you say that?
Because it feels like we're gonna, in my opinion, I feel like we're gonna get that Kobu interrogation with Sakura.
Bro,
Because in the last chapter, I'm pretty
no
sure one of the
way.
medical nins told Sakura about the patient in the other room. We know that Kobu got sent to the hospital, so we know that a lot of the civilians weren't really hurt. So it feels like Kobe was the only real person who could be there and interact with Sakura, and then also get a little more about how the Uchiha clan has been seen for the last 3 years. But I'm gonna be honest, I had a talk with Mello a stream ago, and I've kind of lost hope in Ikamoto doing what I want, and part of that is because of the Jogan. And just it being a slow decline of me not knowing anything about the Jogan over the course of 10 years. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what's gonna happen at this point.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up.
Kamui's
So we'll see.
least favorite word is Jogan.
I feel like it's been 10 years and we haven't gotten an inkling. I still want it to happen, but like I wonder how he's gonna explain it. And I feel like at this point, no explanation is going to be good enough.
Like the explanation will not satisfy me, and
Yeah.
I know. I'm just banking on enjoying. Hopefully, the anime has a chance. They've had it bounce in and out. The anime has a chance of finding an answer that they want to go with for what they're going to do with it.
But see, Kamui, I think.
I don't know.
I think depending how they do the anime, it could make things worse. Because think about it. In Sarada's case, yeah, sure, you can say she was demoted. But if you don't show Denki, Iwabe, and the others and just pretend they don't exist, that completely negates the last couple hundred episodes of Boruto. Sure, you can have them into and turn them into trees. I would personally wouldn't like that. But if they just pretend they don't exist, that's basically going to tell the fans, oh yeah, you watched these hundreds of Boruto episodes for no reason, because now we're going in a completely different direction. So I'm scared.
So they do the Ikimoto treatment.
Yeah.
So I hope at the very least with the anime.
More reason. This is why that's actually a really good point though, because for all the stupid fans who think that Boruto TBV should just adapt the manga 1-to-1, just one panel is one frame and no filler of anything sort. Okay, like you just said, for the actual anime viewers, that would devalue what they've watched up until now. Yes, I can understand the okay, you don't want to watch Chocho Potato Chip episodes. I don't blame you. Okay, everyone memes it for a reason, but there is a bit, at least a very large extent of what was the point.
100%, and it just devalues the whole source material. Why would I watch the anime anymore other than the good moments? It just throws away those hundreds of episodes of development just out the window. Oh, you see Tonari? Yeah, he doesn't exist anymore. You see Time Slip arc? Yeah, that's useless. It's why introduce these characters in general if you're just gonna throw them out? I get to an extent.
The thing is, Kodachi was overseeing this stuff, and Kodachi was the scriptwriter. So if he says, yes, you could do Tonari, that suggests to me, assuming Kodachi's not just saying, I don't give a shit, assuming that's not the case, it's probably either I'm gonna do something with Tonari, or I have an idea for what we can do for the anime to deal with that loose end. Ikimoto's not doing that. He's not in charge of the anime. He literally doesn't have the job, unless they change it. Currently, he does not have the job title. Bro doesn't have time for it. He can barely keep up with the art as it is. He's got art and story now, so he's probably not going to do anime work. Okay, he's probably not going to do that to himself.
Especially if he doesn't take any months off, because Kodachi did do that. Once a year, he took at least a month off, so he could have time to do other stuff, focus on the anime or whatever.
100%, and I feel like how much is Kishimoto involved? Because I think in one of the interviews they said, "Oh, they don't really speak directly. At least Ikamoto and Kishimoto, they'll just like call on their phone once in a while."
Yeah.
Because we know back in Ikamoto's day, and Kodachi's days, he was involved in the anime in addition to the manga story, and he had Kishimoto also be involved. So like the Tonari arc, Kishimoto saw that and said, "Bet I'm gonna add more lore. I'm gonna turn this one episode into 2 episodes." So there was a bit of consistency in the anime. Like, of course, Kodachi did shorten the manga and basically relied on what Dragon Ball Super kind of did before they went parallel, and where the anime fills out the manga. But we know for a fact that Ikamoto doesn't watch the anime. He said it multiple times. He doesn't look at what's happening in the anime. He doesn't.
See, this is the way probably Ikimoto though. But then on the other hand, he's also said he's a weekly viewer, watches every episode, doesn't skip a beat.
Until I see the Jogan, I'm gonna take his statement of I don't keep up with the anime. But if that's the case and he doesn't keep up with the anime, Kishimoto did have some part in the Jogan. So I wonder how much has been sent to Ikamoto, or if he's gotten Kodachi's notes, or Ikamoto's telling him, or Kishimoto's telling him, okay, keep these plot points and these plot points, then do whatever you want. Because it feels like we've had 10 years of no Jogan in the manga, and we've had no inklings of it. We're at a point where Boruto's using Momoshiki's Byakugan, and we still have no reason to believe he has the Jogan, even though I 100% still hope, but I'm gonna cry if my hope turns into cope. So we'll see about my mental state in the next few chapters. Oof. But it's interesting when we have no inkling to Boruto having extra Otsutsuki powers, a special eye, or anything, and I wonder how he's gonna explain it, because it feels like we've kind of missed the boat to where we could have a good explanation. But even then, we're talking about the Jogan, and Himawari hasn't even shown the Byakugan, so I don't even know what it's
I know, that's the crazier one in my opinion. That's just like, because now these aren't exactly 1-to-1, because the example about the give isn't really power related at all. You can make an argument it's not really power related. It's more about, like, I guess, mental, emotional, spiritual stuff. But, we don't know that Naruto and Sasuke are Ashura and Indra reincarnates until the end of the story. So, like, hypothetically, it isn't inherently a problem to have this new information about Boruto. Hey, he actually has this eye later in the story. That's not inherently a problem. But, like, imagine if at the episode 1 of the Naruto anime, when they're doing the 12 years ago in Nine-Tailed Fox, it says it will actually Minato sealed it inside Ashura's reincarnate Naruto, and then you don't learn that until the very end of the Naruto manga.
Here's what they're gonna do. 12 years ago, or at least 15, 16 years ago, depending on Boruto's age right now. When Boruto was born, he was born under Shibai's farm. He is Shibai's. He's the good half of Shibai's reincarnation, and he inherited the Jogan.
That being said, though, it's probably gonna talk about like foreshadowing and stuff. I imagine, like, oh, this and this hints at it, but it's not like you knew in the anime he was a reincarnate and then didn't know in the manga.
Hey, tell that to Malachi. What could I say?
All right, clearly Oodie, it did not work. Whatever I did.
Oh, well. Okay, well, at least you tried.
See, at least with the Indra and Ashura thing, it wasn't like they gained special powers until they met Hagoromo. If Ikamoto says this man is Shibai's reincarnation, that's why he has the Jogan, I'm gonna feel some type of way.
Well, yeah, but I understand that Hagoromo went to specifically them because Indra and Ashura. Hagoromo probably would have gone to them anyways. I don't think it had to do with them being Indra and Ashura. I don't think because they're Indra and Ashura's reincarnates, Hagoromo could give them whatever. I think he could give it to anyone. He just chose Naruto and Sasuke, who happened to also be Indra and Ashura reincarnates.
No, I can see that, and also because he was basically out of options. Like the worst case scenario happened, to where he's been watching other Indra and Ashura reincarnations and never stepped in. Like this was like that break glass if Kaguya ever
exactly, because this one had nothing to do with Naruto and Sasuke. This had to do with Kaguya.
Like at some point, like if Naruto and Sasuke were dead, I would think Hagoromo would show up still, especially with the Madara situation where they kind of merged everything back into his chakra, and he appeared in front of the 4 Kage. So, like, either way, Hagoromo probably has to come back.
I mean, the Ten Tails was revived. That was like Hagoromo's one thing. His whole life was centered around the Ten Tails.
You know what I don't
Of course he
get,
came
though?
back.
Something that's always bothered me, and this is kind of going on a tangent, but why not just destroy the Ghetto statue? Why even seal it into the moon? We know the Ghetto statue can be destroyed. They go up, they always go out and say, oh yeah, we can't capture Nine Tails right now. It has to be sealed last, or the Ghetto statue will explode. So we know that's not a unbreakable thing. So it just doesn't make sense why they would keep the Ghetto statue when they know they can destroy it. That's another thing.
I don't know why he sealed it.
It's like, why go to the trouble of going to the moon when you can just destroy the Ghetto statue, keep Hamura on Earth, and keep his side of the clan just on Earth? It just doesn't. Maybe I'm missing something, but
I mean, maybe Hagoromo's just so much of a pacifist. He just didn't want to kill the Ghetto statue.
The Ghetto statue
I just really liked it.
It's just weird, you know. Like he basically made Kurama and the others be sentient. So why even keep that chance of them getting controlled again and merging into Ten Tails, in addition to Kaguya potentially coming back?
Yeah.
Like, imagine Black Zetsu. Like, I get it, we need it for the story, but imagine Black Zetsu's face when Hagoromo destroys the Ghetto statue. That's it. It's gone. You're done.
Wouldn't destroying the statue also destroy the moon?
But that's the thing, because it's sealed inside of the moon. Like, the moon is hollow at the end of the day. So you can just go up to the moon.
But that doesn't make sense anyways. How did that happen? Because it didn't start hollow. I refuse to believe the planetary devastation didn't form a core. Like, that's not how that jutsu works.
I mean, we could argue that Hamura and his clan members did some digging. But even if they did, even if it didn't start out hollow and they just dug and terraformed the moon to like have their little palace and their artificial sun.
But that's ridiculous as well. Exactly. It's an artificial sun is in there. What do you mean?
You know, part of me wonders where Hamura got these jutsus and these artifacts. That's another, that feels like its own live stream. But let's say they did dig. Eventually they did find the Ghetto statue. Eventually you could have destroyed it. Hell, destroy the moon and make another moon. If it's that important to you. It just feels like the Ghetto statue didn't have to stay there. Like, you could have destroyed it. I mean,
where was the Ghetto statue anyways? Hamura's clan did dig to the center of the moon. Did they find it or not? Was it there?
My memory's a bit hazy, but Toneri noticed. I think Toneri noticed when Madara summoned it to Earth, so they knew where it was. And then he noticed it gone. That's part of the reason why he said, nah, Earth's gotta go. So they knew where the Ghetto statue was. It's not like it was somewhere in the core.
I mean, Toneri certainly took his time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the weird part.
100%. It's just interesting to see, like, why leave that there when you really had no reason to do it? Like, I could guess if they left it there potentially to do good, like, oh yeah, in the event the Otsutsuki show up, you can use the Ghetto statue. But Hagoromo didn't even know fully about the Otsutsuki. He didn't even know there were others like his mother potentially coming to Earth. So there was, in my mind, there's no reason for him to keep that thing.
Now, Hamura, I absolutely believe the last movie is going with the anime continuity and not the movie continuity. Hamura loved his mother. He says so when he decides to go to the moon in the anime, that he felt her emotions. That's why he wants to watch over her. Obviously that doesn't apply to Toneri though. So once Hamura's gone,
and then even before like the main brain was killed off by Toneri's side, what reason would they have to keep the Ghetto statue there? Like, unless Hamura told them, under no circumstances should you touch the statue. This is my mother. This is your grandmother. I love her. Maybe we can work some things out in the future, but just don't touch it. It just feels weird.
I still don't understand why they dug to the center of the moon. Like, they wanted to build it on the moon. You don't have to dig inside the moon.
Like, we know they can breathe in space. Like,
which doesn't make sense either, by the way, but we're going to ignore that for now. It just has an atmosphere for some reason.
We'll call it chakra. We'll call it chakra shenanigans. But it's interesting because like they had no reason to go to the moon. Destroy the ghetto statue and stay on Earth. Hell, maybe if you stayed on Earth, this conflict would have never happened. You would have had Big Brother keeping Indra and Ashura's clans in check. It just feels weird.
I mean, I think that, like I said, Hamura didn't want to destroy the ghetto statue. That's why it wasn't destroyed.
I agree. It's just funny because, like, oh yeah, Elder Brother's eyes could potentially summon the ghetto statue back. What if some Uchiha or Senju does something weird and brings back Kaguya? I don't know.
To be fair, we don't know like how in touch Hagoromo and Hamura stayed. They probably were, but like Hagoromo had his children. Did Hamura know that? Like, was he watching?
I mean, Kaguya somehow knew about her grandchildren, so
Well, that's weird, anyways. But
and Hamura, like, for as misguided as both of them were on the Otsutsuki lore, the fact that Tonari knew a few things means that Hamura did know a few things more than Hagoromo for some reason, which is weird because you think he'd tell his brother. But it did seem like Hamura knew quite a bit more than Otsutsuki compared to Hagoromo, because dude was just spitballing his ideas. At that point, dude was wrong.
I mean, Hamura fought with Hagoromo for so many months against Kaguya. As soon as Hagoromo realizes that, oh, one of my sons is evil and gonna destroy the world, it's kind of weird that Hamura didn't step back in to help Hagoromo, his brother.
100%. And don't forget, we know that Tonari and his clan have been watching the Earth. We know that his dad at some point showed him a young Hinata. So they've been able to see what's happening on the Earth. It's not like they were going in blind. So I would have reason to believe that Hamura could do the same thing. So it's weird that he went no contact for thousands, like hundreds of years, and decided to say, nah, Elder Brother caused this mess. I'm gonna let him sort it out.
Well, at the same time, the Otsutsukis have clearly no idea what happened to Kaguya, except for Urashiki, who said the whole clan has been watching all along, including somehow Boruto's dream, where Tonari gave him the Jogan. Yeah, Urashiki saw that. Boruto's dream. He saw that. Somehow.
He knows that Tonari did something to him, somehow.
Yeah, the Otsutsuki just don't talk, I guess. You have some Otsutsuki where they know everything, and some Otsutsuki where they're just lost. And it feels really weird and disconnected.
I mean, it's hilarious to me that Urashiki literally, based on that, he had to have been trolling Momoshiki and Kinshiki. He knew what happened to Kaguya and didn't tell them as they stumbled around blindly.
Dude really said, I don't get paid enough chakra pills for it. But part of me wonders how much of this disconnect between the Otsutsuki lore is in regards to the three authors, because we have Kishimoto.
Yeah.
And we know Kishimoto's original plan for Boruto was just the Momoshiki arc. So you have the Boruto movie, you kill Momoshiki, no karma, Otsutsuki arc is done. Then we have Shueisha wanting more Boruto, so you're rewriting that with Kodachi. You're having Ikamoto have early plans, but most of it's Kodachi, and then Kishimoto adding onto it. And then you have this like weird situation where Ikamoto's switching, becoming the author, but changing things up to where we don't really know what the original plan was going to be, because even Kishimoto said that the original draft he wrote is gone, because Boruto has veered off in such a different direction that it's a whole new story. So I wonder how the original Otsutsuki lore would have been with either Kishimoto or Kodachi, because right now we're not really getting more Otsutsuki lore until we deal with the
That has something to do with those destroyed Otsutsuki stone tablets that Cabrino thinks somebody moved.
The ones that don't exist anymore. Ryzen, have you heard of that? Have you seen that?
I've seen it. I 100% believe they still exist. If they don't exist, I lose respect for Ikamoto. Like that.
That's
like a red
where
line.
I truly draw the line. If
that's a big red
Ikamoto
line.
not only just doesn't give us an answer, but he retcons their existence out of the story.
Like that
he
would be a hard.
Never let him live it down.
That's a hard.
The franchise.
That's a hard red line. Like I'm guilty of giving him leeway, but that's a red line I can't ignore. Like you need to have those two Otsutsukis. Hell, if you want call one of them Shibai, but you still need to talk about the other one. It doesn't matter. Like,
exactly. Like again,
like you showed it to us.
Don't care if you want to say Shibai and Urashiki. Fine, you're gonna say who they are.
Yeah, it's like you
and
can't
why they're destroyed.
You can't end off Boruto without talking about them. Like they're there. Like there's no going around that. Like it's not our fault that the writing changed. You're supposed to be competent enough to have the timeline from your predecessor.
Exactly. It's not even just that. You're supposed to be able to just like work with what's been established. I don't care if Kodachi and Kishimoto don't have a single note for what the answer is going to be. You look at it and say, all right, I'll come up with my own answer.
Plus, you got to remember, we can't call Ikamoto ignorant on those lore stuff because he's had the Nemu of the manga, of the manga chapters. He's drawn that panel. He's drawn that those Otsutsuki murals. He's had the
Nemu.
Again,
he drew it like 30 times.
Like he has the Nemu to where it has to explain the basic story of that chapter, so he can draw the facial features right and draw everything right, and then have Kodachi sign off on it. So he knows they exist. He knows the storyline at its core, and he knows the murals are there. So he has to there's no going on about it. It doesn't matter if he doesn't like Kodachi. It doesn't matter if he doesn't want to continue Kodachi's story. That plot point has already been introduced, so he's got to continue it in some way or form.
Exactly. That is a good point. It doesn't matter if it's a different author. Ikimoto has been here the whole time. He's known.
He's not a new person. Like he's been there. Yeah. It doesn't matter if he doesn't watch the anime. It doesn't matter if he doesn't talk to Kodachi a lot. He's had the plans.
Yeah. This is just terrible.
Again, he doesn't even need the plans. He just knows they exist and haven't been addressed.
I mean,
that's all he needs.
Like at the end of the day, he drew them.
Exactly.
Several times he went out of his way to keep drawing them later on.
Not just drawn, he's given them functionality, like with the whole hologram thing that Sasuke did. Like it's like basically a whole chapter dedicated to it. Oh.
And then it doesn't matter that Ikamoto said you don't have to read part 1. They gave us a whole guide for part 1, regardless.
Yeah. What happened to that, Ikimoto? What happened to not having to read it, huh?
And funny story. If you go onto the Naruto YouTube channel, they have
the recap
that's talking about the guide being to be decided in global. So there might be a chance where we get it in global, because if that was the case, they would say only in Japan. I think it's a short.
Oh, really? I was gonna look at. I don't know what you're looking for. I was gonna look for the recap thing that they released. Yeah, Boruto in 5 minutes, and we'll look at this in a minute. But okay, short.
But be careful on those, because when I was looking at in the Cloud Ninja podcast, we were looking at one of the editors' interviews real quick. They copyright striked us. Just be careful with showing those videos. But in that short, they talk about the global release date to be announced, so we might get that story guide. So it's basically Shueisha saying, "Nah, it doesn't matter. People still want to know what happened in part 1."
Yeah, that's what part 1 was made for.
Yeah,
like it's a hook, but you still gotta tell everyone what happened. Like,
yeah. Is this what I'm supposed to be looking at, by the way, Ryzen? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think so. My eyesight's just blurry because I'm just so tired.
By the way, Ryzen, is this a thing of where you had to go in like 20 minutes, or are you good to be here for however long?
I'm probably gonna go to sleep in a bit. It's just you guys got me excited.
Okay.
So my energy levels go down again. I'll just write it in chat.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, on the previous topic, since I never really got my word in, since chatty Kathy's over here. So, about the Boruto anime, Tubu Vortex and all that, for all those who say Boruto should be seasonal, you realize Naruto was weekly and was the best anime of all time, right? Boruto was weekly and produced some of the godliest episodes ever. So what's the excuse again? Someone, please remind me.
I mean, like, we say this like every other stream now, it feels like, but yeah, it's just like I don't want it to be seasonal because my problem with seasonal is it's just so much more, regardless of quality, it's more likely that they're not going to add extra. And I want extra. And, you know, if you like to say Kodachi, blah, 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 with though he wrote in a way to where, like, the left room for the anime to build off and blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But the thing is, I didn't read Kodachi's story thinking I need more. I was glad when there was more. It was faster paced, but I didn't feel like I was missing. Like, I didn't read the one-off line about the missed field trip saying, "Oh my god, it's the end of the world that I didn't get that." No, I did not. Well, actually, I think by that time I saw the anime first, and I just like, oh, hey, I know about that. But like, if I read that as a manga review, I'm not like, oh my god, where is it? I'm just like, okay. And then later on, I'm glad when they do it. I'm like, oh, that was cool that they did that. Whereas now I feel like I'm over here like, why should I care about Himawari's pancakes? I need to see it. I'm praying to God, almighty Shibai, to hope that they have some episodes of Inojin and Himawari's bond. You know, it's like, there's a difference in what I'm asking for and why I need it.
Yeah. I feel like with the seasonal and weekly argument, it doesn't necessarily matter because like people think, oh, if it's seasonal, we don't have to deal with like Denki or Iwabe, but that kind of makes the anime worse because for better or worse, the characters are there. So even if it was a seasonal situation, for it to be cohesive and consistent, they have to continue on that plot point. They have to show what happened from the anime, or else it just makes it bad. And it's not a money situation because we know that part 1, objectively, was a commercial success. Business-wise, Boruto Part 1, the anime, makes money. Arguably, having more episodes brings you more fans, more younger fans, which keeps the fan base healthy and alive. Now, you can argue that seasonal is better.
How
quality,
could anyone argue it? It's not quality. That's determined by the schedule.
Twitter fans.
But like, even if, like, for example, it was weekly, we know that during the important episodes, the animation is great. So it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
It's just you choosing to have a course. It's just you choosing to have a core type anime or a weekly anime, and doing it core wise wouldn't necessarily change the info. It would just change how fast we get it. And I feel like weekly is better in my opinion because we just get more information. But it doesn't really matter because even if we get seasonal, you have to explain part 1 the anime. If you don't, regardless of what you think, it just makes Boruto the anime bad because now there's a disconnect between part 1 and part 2. Why should I watch part 1 when part 2 just threw away everything that I watched?
And it's like you said,
the idiots who just want them to start with TBV. And like, I swear to God, if Ikimoto gets his hands on being an executive of the anime, he's probably going to release some anime story guide that covers the code art and the prophecy arc.
Now, the only way I can see TBV working, the time skip working as episode 1 of the anime, is if they do it like what they did Shippuden. Shippuden episode 1, they showed Naruto appearing to Sasuke. You hook them. You can do that. You can have Boruto just step on code and then cycle back to the prophecy arc. But you have to have that prophecy arc because starting off with TBV just worsens the disconnect. I will
say though, I don't. Okay, so like, this part of it, me saying like I don't like this for code, and part of me is like this is just gonna, like, I know code's already at rock bottom with a lot of fans, but it's only gonna make it worse. Just imagine we start off TBV with Boruto stepping on Code's face or possibly doing Yuzahiko on him, and then we cut back to Code getting his limbers off, being bodied by David, and we know in the future he's just gonna lose again. That's just gonna ruin it for everyone. They're gonna hate Code when they already do.
See, I had an interesting take on this. I've been defending Code for the longest, but the fact that Ikamoto verbatim told us that there's a chance Code could join means that there's 100% chance he's joining. I'm sorry, dude's Yamcha now. Like, he could have saved that, but like, in my mind, now I just know that at some point, Boruto might talk no jutsu to him, and he's just gonna be the Yam group with the bootleg karma.
Well,
I've lost hope for Code.
Well, Rise, let me ask you this. Do you think it would be rational or irrational for Code to join Boruto's side?
I feel like it would be rational in the case where he realizes that Jura is probably not going to give him what he wants. So if he's not going to get that chakra fruit anyway, and Jura just doesn't care, he might just throw his lot on Boruto because, like, if you do kill Jura, we know that a tailed beast can't be put down permanently. So at some point, that Ten Tails is going to come back, or it might just reform immediately. So it would be in Code's best interest to go against Jura if Jura's not giving him what he wants, because that's the only way he could probably advance his goals.
Well, Ikimoto said verbatim that he wants to write irrational villains. So based on that analysis, it sounds like he's sticking with Jura.
Now the question is, can Code really be called a villain these days? That's the unfortunate part.
Well, okay, yes. Objectively, yes. He's
I don't know.
bad guy.
It feels like he's one step from being Tien or Yamcha, where he's that comedy relief desert bandit who wins the group for some reason.
No, bro, no. You just don't understand why Code's the best character in all of TBV Vortex. Stay mad, you Code
We'll see.
hater.
No, if you look at my previous takes, I was hyping up Code like crazy. The second I heard Koji say there's a chance he join, that's when my heart broke. That's when I completely lost hope.
Oh yeah, let's trust Koji, the reliable guy.
Like I'm still holding my.
He also said it was like a basically impossible chance.
See, here's what I don't get though.
Yeah, he's trustworthy.
If Koji wanted Code dead, why even mention that third option? That's something I just don't get. Like some things that Koji has been doing.
See,
like,
okay, so I was listening to the podcast where you're describing that, Ryzen. Here's where I disagree with you, because this is what I was saying when I first read that line. Boruto's a special case. Koji already knows if he doesn't tell Boruto something, Boruto's just going to act on his own. Boruto nearly got himself killed in the previous arc because of that very reason. So Koji can't afford to do that with Boruto. Boruto's also not expendable. He needs Boruto. The whole world relies on his shoulders alone, solely, apparently. So Boruto's the one thing that Koji can't lose. He can't just lie, or he can't just not tell Boruto something anymore, but he can manipulate him. That's something he can do. So I think that's what 100%, he is doing.
And I agree with you 100%. I just feel like Duke could have said, "Yo, he's gonna kill Sarada." So cut his head off right now.
No, I think he's twisting the information to get what he wants, no matter what. He just has to do it in a different way now with Boruto after the previous arc.
I agree 100%. And, it wouldn't surprise me if we turn around and find out that Koji told him that to make the possibility of Code joining us that much higher. But I just wonder, where would Code's character even go from that? Does he become like that Tien, that Yamcha, that Vegeta,
Code's
who just joined the group?
Code's not joining. That's not happening.
I don't think Code joins sense for his arc, because I do think it's okay. Again, giving Ikimoto the bare minimums of benefits of doubt, they've written too much Code and Kawaki parallel things to just not continue forward in that regard. Where they're either going to do, it's realistically going to be a mix of both, where they walk the same path, but in a slightly different way, or they walk in completely opposite paths. Is usually how that goes. And it feels like they're gonna keep doing that idea with them, because I don't know why they wouldn't.
I agree with you 100%.
Because even in TBV, Matsuri has that random, again, why does Matsuri have this information? I don't know. Some random trees on Earth would tell her about Code to life, apparently. But she has that line about Code's destiny and stuff, which is kind of similar to things that have been said about Kawaki too. So it's it doesn't seem like Ikimoto forgot that idea.
I agree with you. And it's funny because I think I've said this, but it would be really funny if Code ends up getting his quote redemption arc before Kawaki.
No.
And then Kawaki, I wouldn't like it. I'm with you. I wouldn't like it, but it's just Oh yeah, the
It
second
depends on what you
Kawaii.
mean by
Yeah, but I'm
redemption,
already
really.
a Code fan. See, here's the thing. I am Code's first, last, and only fan in this franchise. So if they do that with Code,
I wouldn't
even
say
I'm
that.
gonna jump off a cliff and
It
the
just
Code
it just would
fandom.
be hilarious in a bad way if the second Kawaii hypothetically leaves the village. Ko says, nah, he left the village. Bet I'm gonna join I'm on the village's side. And
Bruh.
then Ko just ends up rocking a Leaf Village headband. Oh man, that's why I said he might be the Yamcha, and I'm scared if that's the case. Because if he joins with no strings attached, I'm gonna cry.
If Code gets a redemption arc, I want him to try to eat a soul thorn just for that to not be how that works, and he'll die because of it. It's gonna rot from the inside out. It's gonna be like a Ashbone.
I mean, I think it depends on what you mean, because, like, for example, technically, Obito and Kabuto and people like that got redeemed before Sasuke at the end of the story. So it depends on what you mean when you say redemption arc and stuff.
Obito got redeemed, but he also died. In Kabuto's case, he got redeemed and he got a job. He's on the village's payroll. So there's two different things. Like,
well, okay,
I don't really feel like Code's a character to, like, sacrifice himself. Like, not to say that they can't do it, but he doesn't feel like a character to.
Okay, but the problem, Kamui, Kabuto had parallels to Itachi, who got redeemed, quote unquote, or however you want to see that. Obito had ties to Naruto, the good guy. Code has ties to Kawaki. Would it be better for Kawaki's conclusion if Code is redeemed or not?
That's a good way to think about it. Yeah,
I feel like he would put them as enemies again, because if he's quote unquote at the very least having an alliance with the Leaf, we know at some point Kawaki's going to switch up. We don't know how he's going to switch up. It's just at some point he's going to advocate for the Shinobi era. So if Code is on Boruto's side again, it puts aside now. It puts in direct opposition of Kawaki, because at the end of the day, Kawaki still wants to go against Boruto. So it would just have to depend on how they view things. We also got to remember, Code is still under so in his mind, he hates Boruto. So I wonder if we could potentially have a catalyst.
He is.
That's fair. But I wonder if we could have potentially have a catalyst to where Code is now focused on Kawaki again fully.
He hates them both. That's the problem.
But I want the focus to be on Kawaki again, because for me that's just way more interesting. I care way more about that dynamic. But I'm curious your thoughts on this, because I was trying to think of a way to where writing a Code redemption could work for Kawaki's, like, conclusion in the end. So I'm just curious what your thoughts on this idea would be. So I could see this working where Code gets redeemed, and as a result, at least from Kawaki's perspective, as a result of Code's redemption, Code dies/fails. Kawaki sees that and says, "That's not the way for me." He's doing the Sasuke grab the leaf thing. All hell breaks loose. I'm going down my bad path, and he doubles down on his path. And then later on, you get your conclusion with Kawaki. I could see that kind of concept working, but other than that, I'm not really sure where else to do Code redemption.
I could definitely see that, because if we remember, Code is basically a rapper to Kawaki. He's had similar situations to Kawaki. He also has Ishiki's karma. Granted, he's not an Otsutsuki, but he still has Otsutsuki power. He still has pure power. He's still developed similarly to Kawaki. So if he hypothetically sees someone like him accept the Shinobi way, accept Boruto's way, and then die from it, and that's be his reward, it will potentially make Kawaki double down to where, yeah, look at this guy. He's basically me. He chose what I wanted to choose. He chose the Shinobi lifestyle. He chose working with Boruto. And what did that get him? Death. Bonus points if it's like a situation to where Momoshiki killed Code. Like, we know Momoshiki's still a problem.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to do it, because then it really makes him want to triple down on Momoshiki.
100%. And it's a way to give us stakes without killing the grandfathered characters that Ikemoto has been really hesitant on killing. I mean, look at Enojin. That's besides the point. Code would be a good way to do that and raise the stakes without killing anyone.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, having, like, Momoshiki hypothetically kill Inojin after he states his new shinobi way would work for anti-shinobi stuff, but I do think an advantage with using code in this hypothetical is it's like Kawaki, assuming he's not oblivious to it, considering how many people bring it up, can realize the similarities between them, at the very least the fact that they both came from Kara, where shinobi became shinobi, blah blah blah. If he can look at that basically that change in code, the one that's just like what he's done before, and see that did not work for code, and then decide it won't work for me either. There's like an inherent advantage because Inoji was always a shinobi, whereas code is someone like Kawaki wasn't at first, could hypothetically become one. So you get that advantage there. It's not necessarily necessary, but it's something I could see. I mean, what do you think, Oodie? Would you hate it to the bottom of your guts, or is that like a way you would like a redemption? Do you have a different way of doing a code redemption to where you would like it for Kawaki's character?
Here's the way that I see it. It's that Code is and has been the failed Kawaki. Now, there's multiple ways you go with this. He's been that up until this point. If you want to be a redemption, well, okay, he can be the Kawaki that succeeded. But at the same time, he's been the failed Kawaki. So then Kawaki should probably succeed for there to be a failed version of Kawaki. So assuming that Kawaki fails in the end and Kawaki stays evil and is irredeemable. So if Code's the failed Kawaki and he stays the failed, so he's the failed failure, does that mean he succeeded? like how do we go on that route?
That's a funny way to think of it, but that's not what we were talking about at all.
No, I'm just leading into that. But that's like important to like go to that.
But there's an interesting connection and parallel. Right now, Kawaki is wearing the shinobi headband, the Kona headband. So for better or worse, he sees himself as an extension of the village, if only to save the village and then offense later. But then we also have Boruto in a situation where he's not really wearing his headband anymore. Like, once he failed to save Sasuke, we don't really see too much.
Yeah.
So there has to be a situation where that parallel switches. Kawaki fully forsakes that headband, throws it away. He's against Shinobi. He puts on that scarf, becomes Scarf Walky already, please. And then on the trade-off,
I really want to see a thing of him throwing the headband in the trash, bro. That's gonna mean so much. Besides being kind of goofy, like that's good.
But then on the flip side, we have Boruto fully being restored personality-wise to where he doesn't want to die, hopefully, to where he's putting on Sasuke's headband proud. He has his resolve again, and we find out why he believes he's still a shinobi.
It depends on if you want Kawaki to be redeemed or not, because based on that, it's going to depend on if you want Code to stay similar to Kawaki, because he's been like Kawaki for so long, or if you want Code to deviate from Kawaki's path, sort of at the last minute.
Because Kawaki can still get redeemed after the situation happens. I feel like it would be more like an Obito situation, where Obito saw Rin die and fully went into darkness. And like we could argue Kawaki still hasn't gone there, even with all the bad things he's done. He's still holding out hope to protect the village. We just haven't hit that catalyst to where he fully goes off the deep end. And it's a nice foreshadowing, because when Shikamaru and Boruto talked, they specifically said, we can't let Kawaki get pushed into a corner again, because that's when he deep end. So we know that at some point, like Ikamoto said, we're going to focus on character development. We know right now it might be Sarada's time shy, but at some point we're going to get that Kawaki arc, and we're going to get a situation to where he fully snaps and just changes his perspective.
But I wonder what Mello thinks about that. He'll figure it out.
So this also, though, to be fair, though, I think this is probably the more, as of right now, at least I'd say this is the more likely use for Code. But again, so Code and Kawaki are similar. I do think there's a very high possibility chance that Code essentially he doubles down on the bad guy side, the failure side, to where he's unwilling to change in a particular way, whatever that specific thing they want to hone in on is, but he doesn't change. It costs him in the end. he fails. He doesn't change, and that's why he goes down. Kawaki could, and it can take this many different ways, but assuming Kawaki's not gonna, switch up too soon, he can look at that and basically say, "Well, it won't happen to me," even though it will happen. But he's basically would just be in denial, like, "Oh, I'll be different." Maybe he's blind to his similarities with Code in this case, and then later on, he has his redemption, switches up, in the future. I feel like it's more likely that Code is gonna fail because of his unwillingness to change. Based on what we've seen so far, maybe they'll change if they give us more alluding to him changing. Can recant my stance there, but as of right now, he's just been so headstrong on not changing. In the latest chapter, regardless of what Koji's possibilities are, he's tripling down on hating Boruto. It's like,
and I could definitely see your point of view. Have any of you guys watched Smallville?
No.
Nah. So, long story short, Lex Luthor was shown he had a great life if he had changed. Now, of course, he didn't change. And at the end of the day, his future was terrible. That could be Code's situation where he's just he refuses to change,
Can
and
you
we
guys
get a glimpse.
hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
hear you
I cannot hear you at all.
now. Oh. Well, let me text fellow.
Like shoot me a chat, like a text, if you can actually hear me.
Hang on,
We
I'll
can hear
leave and
you.
I'll come back and see if he can hear me.
Okay. Well, I guess wow, Ryzen's dealing with that. I'll say that I definitely want that Kawaki. Oh my god, I'm so distracted by other people. I want Kawaki and Ko to not have the exact same conclusion. They've walked the same path, but I want them to have differing conclusions.
Exactly.
Obviously, every character should have their own unique conclusion. That's why they're their own unique character. But at the same time, I do want Code's differing path to, like Kamui was saying, I do want it to shine light on Kawaki's path. Or if not direct his path in a new direction, I want it to show what an alternate path of Kawaki could look like, where Kawaki fails or stumbles or falters or whatever. In the same way that Madara and Hashirama were that for Naruto and Sasuke, or the same way that Neji and Lee were that for Naruto and Sasuke. Just don't tell that to Kamui, because he'll die on the hill if he disagrees on that one, but
100%. It would be interesting to see Code fall, but also get that hypothetical future from Koji to where he could have had a life. He could have built a new life for himself, but because he was so stubborn, he gave that up to continue being.
It was a possible future for him to join Boruto and have a good life, but he chose not to, kind of thing.
Yeah, it would parallel Kawaki, because at the end of the day, Boruto wants the Uzumaki family to come back. So if he sees someone like Kawaki, in Code, reject a good future just because he's so in his beliefs, it would be interesting to see how
it could actually work really well with Kawaki. Again, it depends on how they want to use this line, but from the Flash Forward scene, was this the only possible future thing?
Exactly. Because
if they want to tie that in with 10 directions, it would be, well, technically no, but Kawaki insisted on this being the future kind of thing.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, when Naruto and Sasuke fought, Sasuke only changed because he wanted to change. What happens when that's flipped? What happens when the guy you're fighting, regardless of how many times you beat him, still doesn't want to change? How do you force it? Because you can't really force free will like that.
Exactly. If they just refuse to change, they refuse to change. Like Sasuke, like Naruto didn't change Sasuke. He helped Sasuke change himself, is the more accurate way to put it. Because if Sasuke just refuses, it's something Naruto can do. Sasuke had it in him to change the whole time.
What are you guys talking about?
Well, we've been all over the place, but currently we're talking about, I guess, Code and Kawaki's characters, the hypotheticals of Code getting a redemption arc and not getting a redemption arc. Oh, bye, Ryzen. We kind of covered both perspectives there. I don't know exactly when you first started to hear. Also, don't know what's up with Oodie because he's on mute right now.
No, okay, bet. No, I just kind of came in, was playing around with some settings or whatever. So I'm a little
yeah, that's why I
over
wasn't sure what you were able to hear, because I know you're having some issues.
Of course, Ryzen had to leave at the one time when I walked away. Ugh.
You missed it. Great. We were. I don't know how much you missed, but we were both on the same page. Also, right. Oodie, I don't know if you heard me earlier. Yeah, whatever I did not help with this whole mic situation or the headphones, whatever situation. So I've just been constantly going back and forth. It is the most annoying thing of all time. Do I have permission to just use these headphones? Because it sucks. I prefer to have the better mic, but
well,
so
don't ask me. Who you need to get permission from is Mello.
Okay.
Oh, what? Why are you putting me on the spot like that?
All right, Mello. So
it's funny.
We have this mic, and I can alternatively to not have annoying whatever bullshit.
Use my AirPods. Do I have permission?
Bro, that first mic was elite. I guess the AirPods is kind of meh, but I don't have any say so either way, so I'm just along for
well, Mello, you
agree.
have the say so.
Yeah, like what is better? But for whatever reason, since like 3 days ago, when this started, it started doing this thing to where after like anywhere from 30 seconds to like 2 minutes, I just can't hear you guys anymore. And the solution to the problem is to change the input to the headphones. And that makes the output fixed. Because that makes sense.
And he can't
stop
complaining about it.
Go with what works.
And I can't stop.
Yeah. Like, it's the most annoying thing of all time.
Nah, that's jarring, bro.
Actively ruins my stream experience.
Well, it actively ruins ours too, Kamui, so there you go.
And I tried to look it up, but it's not. I don't think it understands. I don't think AI knows what's going on.
Well, Mello, this is the best possible future, because never in a million years would I have expected you to be here with us tonight. Because I realized after ending stream last night that there were some Mello topics that I wanted to do and forgot to do.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So, Mello.
Uh-huh.
On Jiren's Gamble for Naruto's Life is Brilliant, a video that I did, Ahmad Tijanitumuftau commented, Mello called Boruto a hollow character. So I responded saying, what do you want me to do with this information? Laughing emoji. Why inform me of this on this video? And Mello, you'll never believe his response. He said, sorry. So Mello, I leave it up to you. Aww. Should I accept his apology?
I mean, might as well. He seems sincere.
All right, Abad Tijanabedavo, I forgive you.
But you should reply to him saying, I forgive you. It's okay. Or like, it's okay. Or
I'll respond saying, Mello said I could forgive you.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's funny.
Well, Mello, why did you call Boruto a hollow character? And why did Ahmad feel the need, the compulsion to let me know about this on the Jura Gambled for Naruto's Life video?
I can't really speak to that because I'm not really sure what a hollow character is. I'm not really sure what that is.
Well, it's those things from Bleach, right?
Why did you call him that? Why did you say it, Mello?
The hollow? I don't know.
Why did
Bleach
you
has hollows.
Yeah, well, you remember that's what Zetsu said when he pulled up to the 5 Kage summit.
I have to take your word for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you remember Zetsu's. He's in Hollow. Yeah, it was 5 Kage summit Zetsu.
What? What is that?
That's not what he's really not the English dub, at least.
Japanese definitely did that.
From?
You said, hello there.
Oh, man, it's so much better in the Japanese. You guys have to go listen to that in the Japanese. I haven't pulled that up.
Oh, I think I know it. I actually think I remember what you're talking about.
I don't remember exactly how it is in the Japanese anymore. I do remember the English one very well because I watched it like 30,000 times. But
it's the best thing of all that.
Japanese.
Okay, this is
say hello.
Okay, yeah, this is gonna be Japanese. We're gonna change it to where you can hear it, and then we're gonna go to the part where he actually comes out of the ground.
You have to unmute the YouTube part.
Yeah. We're going to change it to where stream can't see it for the most part because obvious reasons. Okay. So, Setsu comes down on the ground and says in the Japanese, I did not time that perfect.
Oh,
Hello. So good, bro.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
So, Mello, why did you quote Setsu in your Boruto stream?
You know, man, it must have been a stream of consciousness type of thing, you know? The collective unconscious.
You guys are on the
know,
same
and such.
wavelength.
Ooh, collective unconscious. That's a Fire Force Season 3 thing. Yeah.
But yeah, no. I can't really speak to why he felt compelled to say that. But you know, apparently some people are triggered by a video I made. So what else is new?
So Mello, you can confirm. You did in fact call Boruto a Hallow character.
I can't confirm that. A Hallow character? No, I can't confirm a Hallow character, but you know. And I also can't speak to, you know, other people's
But what
motivations.
can you confirm then?
The New York Knicks are your NBA champions. That's what I can confirm.
There you go.
Congratulations.
That just feels so wrong. Like, that sentence just, it feels wrong to me. Granted, I did not watch much this year once the Celtics are out in the first round, but just like, remember the last time the Knicks were like good.
Bro, you telling me. But they're nasty, man. So congrats.
Mello, you've complained about Naruto in the Boruto era in the past.
Oh, I know what this is.
Why? Me?
You know, unless omnipotence is, admittedly, I'm relying on my memory. The Boruto series teaches us not to do that. But I think my heart is also telling me that you did this. So I think I'm narratively correct by saying you did this. So, Mello, what if I told you Naruto did actually get a W?
If we can prove
really?
it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have it.
This is Boruto era Naruto.
Oh my god, did we not post a picture? Please stop it.
Bro, how did you not?
Oh, there's no way. There's no way. Okay, Kamui, go pull it up.
Where was it? Like, what
Misdirection. Distract.
Where did we find this again? What was it from specifically?
It was the manga version of the fist bump. You know the one.
Okay, hold on. Let me just go look for it.
Well, I guess I'm going
colored
to
or black and white. Do we just do black and white?
Inevitably stall. Yeah, black and white. Well, Mello, Hokage Naruto it's an interesting position for Naruto to have. You know, this infallible position for adult Naruto, who should be like this Gojo figure in Boruto, but instead he's reduced to a deadbeat father who's distant from his family. And this is a bad thing because this means that Naruto, the character that we grew and loved so much.
Okay, I found it.
Okay, I don't have to stall anymore.
Yeah, hold on, let me just take this screenshot. I was so worried.
Oh, ain't no
second.
fucking way.
Like
what is that? Like, what was that? What was that thumbnail? That thing is cursed. No shot. No shot.
Okay, where do you have it in Boruto comics? Okay,
this is a perfect Mello topic right here.
No fucking shot. Who made that?
How far up is this?
J Riddle.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Get a W. There we go.
Burn
you don't
that
have to
shit
really
with
label
fire.
anything else. You know.
That is crazy.
Well, Kamui, whatever. Yeah, post. Okay, here you go.
Right.
So, Mello. Thoughts?
That's
Thoughts
a
on
W
what, bro?
right there. If I've ever seen one.
What are you circling with your mouse? Oh,
Naruto's W. It's on his back.
Bro, ain't no fucking... Yo, chat, look.
It's in his room.
Naruto got a W. Tell me I'm wrong. This is a W moment for Naruto. Father of the year right there.
No, Ikimero's trying to really tell us that this is a W. And also, narratively, it is a W because he's talking to his son, giving him a fist bump, hyping his kid up. This is a rare Naruto W, if I've ever seen one.
Man, look. No. His son went on to fight Shikadai and get packed up in the most humiliating way imaginable, okay?
Well, we didn't say that Boruto had the W. There's no W behind his back.
No. He took the ultimate L, that being Naruto, is because he gave this boy his name, and he disgraced the name of Uzumaki, okay? So, no, ultimately, it was an L. Oh, yeah,
I don't think there's anything wrong with losing to Shikadai. You know,
it was Space giving
the
us
generational prodigy.
Thanks, face.
And also that's clearly like some other word, like because you can see
I don't
coming
know
off
what the
his
word it
shoulder
is.
to the
Let's
far
see if I
right.
can
There's a
figure
like
out what it is.
Well,
there's a
to be
partial
fair,
letter there.
I think that
Yeah.
Ikimoto did this on purpose because the W's the only thing that we can clearly see in the scene.
It's the only thing
Okay.
that matters.
Well, you got me, buddy. You definitely proved it. So I'll have
If
to take
anything,
that
there's
one.
probably an L that Naruto is physically blockading. It's not just metaphorical; it's physical.
Well, if I
Physically
take his
embodied.
hand or his arm as like this the part for the L, and I take his head, that is an L, bro. That
You
is
got
an
an L
L,
right
bro.
here, yeah, 90-degree angle.
It's like upside down L, bro.
Oh,
That's
dude.
tough.
Bro, why is Naruto so shaky here? I guess crazy.
He's
Because he's
really
fucking tired. He's tired. That's what it is, bro. Mister, I can share my chakra with an entire army, but he's exhausted.
Bro,
Oh, okay.
whimpering.
This is what it says. Hold on. I found an image. Okay, this
It's
is
just
ridiculous.
cold in his room. Okay, let's see this.
This is not a word. I don't know if it's an anagram or if it's meant to be an onomatopoeia. I'm just putting it in chat. This is what that science says.
Where did you
in
find
Word
that
chat.
from, by the way? How did you
The
dig
manga.
that
Oh, we
up?
just randomly saw this at some point, and we just
Is that AI, bro? Is that real?
Well,
That's
this
crazy.
isn't. But this is.
Yeah, that's real.
Bro. I know who
This
made
happened.
this.
This
too.
is also real, by the way, Bella.
Yeah,
Mr.
just spoke to him a few
Mr.
minutes ago.
Ryzen made that, didn't he?
He was just here. Hey.
Yeah, I know who made that. Yeah. Bro, love some
I
chat
love
GPT,
Ryzen's Gemini. Odie, go to regular chat for a second.
Regular chat's where it is. Okay.
So this is what the word is in Boruto's room.
Oh, work.
Worf.
What? There you go.
You know what?
Disproven.
Okay, yeah. I'm also asking what, because the Worf, the characters on the painting said,
saying,
what is it?
What is it?
Wait, where is that cup? Nah, bro. This is AI, bro. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Tough.
Kamui, put this in NC Hammer questions. What poster does Boruto have on his wall?
Yeah, wait. What does the poster on Boruto's wall say?
Yes. Okay, let's see here. Some more Mello topics. I'm not gonna lie, that one was the one. Well, both of these were the ones, but so Mello, does marshmallow rhyme with your name?
Marshmallow.
Is that a rhyme to you?
That's actually an interesting question. Can it be like? No, that's actually an interesting question.
Okay,
Can you rhyme the same word with the same word, even though it's like
because I was really curious.
spelled different?
So Mello,
It has a different connotation.
I've got a more pressing question for you now.
Oh my god!
So Oodie, just go to regular chat for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So
Big
Mello,
blue lock.
what's the secret side gig you've been working on here, Mr. Marshmallow?
Bro, this what is that? Nah.
You're an
not
American
me.
DJ and record producer, I see.
Nah, I don't claim that guy. He stole my name. Okay.
Don't claim that guy.
Oh my god, I can't hear again. It's just the most annoying thing of all time.
Shout out to the metadata.
Well, Mello, if you've seen the Walky Talky crash out over the past week, you'll know we've talked a lot about rhymes in our community polls.
The crash out?
Yeah, did you know, Mello? Kamui thinks that 4,300,82,972 rhymes with 2.
I did not say that, but I'm gonna double down anyway.
Let him have it.
So
Maybe.
I disagree.
Yes, sure.
I think that rhymes can't rhyme with themselves, so just adding something before the word doesn't make it rhyme.
You gonna rhyme orange with orange? That's tough.
You can rhyme it with door hinge.
Yeah, but Oodie thinks if you rhyme orange with this word doesn't exist, but pretend it does with florange, he'd say it doesn't rhyme.
Orange
or
with
you can just make up a new word.
Don't rhyme, Mello.
You can just do that. Just make up a new word that rhymes with it. People like miss that part, but you know.
You can do that. Most people would miss it, but creative people would get it.
Did you guys see the little leak and spoilers?
I saw that you posted your live stream about it, of ranting about a certain character of which Kamui doesn't know about. Kamui, do you care to know the character at least?
Our character?
I'm not curious.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
Mello,
well,
you might as well just say the character. At the very least. We'll go from there.
Like a specific character? I talk about a lot of characters in that stream.
Okay, so
Boruto,
Kamui...
Momoshiki,
There it
Sasuke,
is.
Naruto.
Yes,
Yeah.
there it is. So Momoshiki was the apprehended, red-handed in question.
Because of the sneak peek.
Is it the sneak peek? What released, Mello? What was leaked? What spoilers is there? What is it?
Like whatever that spiral on the shuriken was, bro. That's about all I saw.
Is it
That's
just
all I
like
saw.
a singular page?
Wait, Spiral and Shuriken? I saw that too. Is that real? I thought that was a fan art.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know. I got it off X.
I saw
So
that
if it's real, cool. If it's not,
I don't even remember what else was there. I just remember Spiral on a Shuriken.
It's so mid that if it was made up, it's like, bro, you could have did better. Like, why?
You're making me like want to like try to like 1 quarter look at a spoiler and see if there's anything I can like tell from it.
You might as well look, because if I remember, it was like a spiral. I mean, Mello, do you have it? The page?
Don't you guys cover spoilers?
No.
See, I saw it like a day ago. Troy was posting a thing that I can't read, but now I know who's on the character is.
I hope it's fake, because that shit is interesting.
We'll see. I guess we'll just do this now. So Mello, you probably don't want to answer this, but Space was curious. Honest question. Why did you choose Gojo for what Hokage Naruto should have been? And what would that even look like to you?
Oh my god, okay, Oodie.
Did you find it?
At your own discretion, I looked in chat just because I saw the notification, and then I read what it says. Cool coloring, by the way, but I'm gonna tell you now. You can either look in the group chat and just accept that we're gonna pivot to a rant, or you can wait and know that you will have a problem with this next chapter.
Well, it was a 10 out of 10. We knew that couldn't last, so...
Well, to be fair, you know, you've called into question if it's real or not, so...
Oh my god. Real. Okay, Kamui, I looked. I saw it. Oh my god. Bro, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way, bro. That has to be fake.
They did, like, no, bro, like Troy, I mean, granted, I guess Troy's not the most reliable person of all time, but he's posting it, like... It's the same image that he posted and other people posted. Wait, let me look at Felix's. Okay, that is the Felix translation.
So Mello,
I mean, we could ask him his but
ooh, this hurts. So I have a topic on this.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, do we have to go back and go find a stream where we were talking about this idea when we were talking about the chapter in the past?
So Mello. This is a comment from the Cloud Ninja podcast from Saga, who says, Sumire might make a pair of prescription glasses that automatically adjust to Sarada's worsening eyesight as a temporary solution. And I thought that was absurd. It's why I screenshotted the comment to talk about here. And Kamui had his own thoughts on this, Kamui, if you feel like it.
Yeah, so I said... Sumire makes a purposefully sneaky bad pair that tricks Sarada, so she thinks her enemy is Boruto, but it's actually Hidari, and then Hidari eats her off guard, so that Sumire removed her competition.
So I thought there was no way.
Well, look,
like, you know, I'm not
might
gonna
not
say
be real,
like,
bro.
You know, has to follow like real life types of stuff, but like prescription glasses shouldn't work for Sarada's case. That's not just normal blurry vision that she has going on. That should be something that you get next to glasses. She should not be refractable.
Bro, what's the point? Why? Why would they do this? Why?
So it just doesn't matter. So like, but now like hypothetically, it's like, is this like a? You have to ask the question. Are we like so when Sasuke, or let's look at Itachi? Okay, so Itachi at the start of the Sasuke fight, his vision's pretty darn blurry, but he's like not. He's not. He just literally can't see anything. Like he could see Shuriken coming. It's bad eyesight. So let's just assume for a moment that's where Sarda was to make this simple. If Sarda continues to use her Mangekyo, are they gonna write it to where the glasses can't fix that? It's just gonna be, hey, if you keep using Mangekyo, it's gonna be irreparable. This is only able to fix her current situation, and she's gonna stop using her Mangekyo, because I doubt she's just gonna never use Orihime again, and that would just be kind of like, what's the point? So
at this point, Kamui, why would you ever think they're gonna do that?
Find it anyway, which means who cares about the prescription glasses, or the glasses are going to keep getting fixed over and over again.
It's going to be that, because Kamui, why would they do this? Why would they do this otherwise? The glasses are going to get infinitely better to where blind Sarda is putting on her glasses and has 20/20 vision. In 1,000 chapters from now, we're going to be having that.
Yeah, because it's either going to be the freest EMS of all time.
Yes.
Or
it is.
The glasses are pointless. Or she will never use her Mangekyo again. Well, all three of those suck.
That's the worst solution.
You might as well do the stupid love doesn't have blindness at that point.
Yeah, make Naruto's dumbest fan happy.
You know, you might as well.
So, Kamui, we said that this latest chapter, chapter 34, it was so good it was a 10 out of 10, but it made other chapters worse in retrospect. Assuming this is real...
It also made them in futurespect.
Yeah, so assuming that this Sarada thing is real with the spiral kunai, I think we have to keep the same energy going. This just made chapter 34 worse. It's a 9 out of 10 in retrospect.
Well, is it? Because we didn't know. But granted, I guess Sakura did have the line about the prescription. So now that we have the confirmation, because we could have thought that we just didn't know. So yeah, I would say it brings it down. It's not, it's no longer 10 out of 10.
Exactly. So much for an emotional roller coaster. It's so much for Sarda going blind to show the consequences,
so
unlike Inoji.
I remember us going up and down, up and down. We were so unsure what to think of that scene.
Bro, our reactions were over the moon, on top of the world. I don't know,
oh my
bro.
God,
yeah, bro, her like losing her eyesight.
It's like...
That's last
one
month,
step
bro.
forward and 30 steps back. And it's like he finds the needle in the haystack, like Meron versus... Netero mentioning that again, but instead it's the fight. What's the worst thing I could do? I'm gonna pick that one.
Bro, I hope Hidari breaks her glasses mid-combat.
Bro, same. I hope he snaps it. You know, like when Jiren does the sword threat? I hope Hidari does it with the glasses, but he actually goes through with it.
Yes.
Shit's not real, bro. I don't believe
low-key, those... Her being blind was Code's best shot at just being able to just take her.
Oh my God, okay. I have something so stupid that I hope happens.
Now it's harder.
No, Hidari, he don't need no Sharingan. He's gonna take Sarada's glasses, put them on himself, and that's gonna be how he can use Chidori now.
That's gonna get rid of the tunnel vision?
Yeah. I don't care how nonsensical it is. That's how I want these to be used.
You know what? If Ikimoto legitimately writes that in, I'm not even gonna complain.
Exactly. It's charmingly funny, and I'm okay with it.
Exactly. It's so bad, it's good.
Sarada getting him.
I'm down. Okay. That aside...
Well, alternatively, okay, this is really funny. This is so stupid. If that doesn't happen, it started just because to keep her glasses. Then I wish the glasses were like so obnoxiously ugly and obviously so where it's like, it's early technology. We don't yet know how to make these small cute frames. Yeah, and now she just like got these ugly ass frames that she either has to be blind or
oh no. I do not like this.
And then you have a funny student Boruto like, oh, hey, Sarda, nice glasses.
I prefer the chapter 33 month when we thought Sarda's eyes exploded.
Yeah. With Jura sniped her.
Yeah.
Wait, if this is like a real thing, it should be on the official website, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, actually, right. It would be there.
I would not be the guy to know.
Naruto website, Boruto chapter 35 sneak peek. Yeah, it's definitely real. Well, at least the art is real. I mean, Oodie, you can just quickly translate this if you want and just see if it says about the same thing. I'm putting in chat.
Feel free.
I'll mark
Probably
as a
will.
spoiler after. How do I mark as a spoiler after the fact? I don't know. Whatever. They've all seen it.
What is with their website? It's so flashy now. Got a little cinematic thing and everything. Interesting.
Oh my god, bro! I'm sorry. This has nothing to do with anything, but like I just see this. I just see this on the website, and I can't believe Troy thinks this is Ikimoto's best work, his best art ever. This Kawaki's like tilting his head forward neck thing, like so far forward.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of the art's really cool. It's just his neck.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think that translation is pretty accurate.
So not looking good for anyone that's reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now that that's out of the way, what is this Kamui? This other thing?
Just a freaking Kawaki's neck.
Oh, his neck. Oh no, giraffe out of here, bro. Okay.
Yeah. Giraffe.
So
Wait, we should make a Photoshop. I'll put it in messages. Photoshop Kawaki's stupid neck thing on a giraffe.
like it's Tokyo Revengers, yeah. So Mello, back to this. Why should Hokage Naruto be Gojo?
Oh, is it? Oh, let me see. Another question. Why? Oh, okay. So for me, like Gojo would be a glaring representation of the descriptor the strongest. And I pick Gojo. It could be anybody really. It could be, I don't know, Goku or whoever would fall underneath that category for me. But Gojo is like the most recent and the most like obvious pick of the title of the strongest. So that's really I just wanted to see Hokage Naruto be undeniably, definitively solo dolo himself the strongest, and just have like just overwhelmingly dominant moments to where you can just gawk in awe of his majesty. Okay, that's pretty much what it is, and I think Gojo had those moments plentiful. And I just wanted that for Naruto at the peak of his power, supposedly, and it's never felt like I got that in the way that I would have liked. But yeah.
For me, I think it would be All Might.
Yeah. All Might would be like another the strongest type of archetype. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I do feel like Mello, one of the very, very first things we ever got of the Boruto era was the Hokage Naruto like back and his jacket like blowing in the wind.
Mhm.
This thing.
I like that shot.
Yeah, this to me gave that vibe. Like I could just imagine with like the Ultimate Ninja Store music playing behind it.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
don't
but
disagree.
imagine if it was the Sage Mode cloak.
That wait, Sage Mode cloak? Oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, the Pandark one, the red one, that one. I wish that was his Hokage cloak, bro. It was too cool.
That yeah, that shot's fantastic. I love that shot. I use that shot frequently. So
yeah, I don't know what the original one even is, but they're all pretty cool.
Actually, I kind of like just all these Kishimoto art ones, like the one right on the black and white one to the right of the one there. Yeah. That looks good too, from zoomed out at least.
No, and I think this to me it embodies the vibe that Mello's going for at the very least. This feels like a Naruto that could do anything. Especially if this is the only thing that you have. This is your image of adult Naruto coming out of Shippuden. This is the first thing you have, the only thing you have at the time.
Or even like when he's in the house with Kawaki, he like gets mad at him and powers up. Like just the vibes of that and like Kawaki's reaction. Like he felt like that motherfucker.
He could even beat
in that
Shigen.
Yeah. No, it's just this, and to be honest, it's the simple stuff. The small things cumulatively come together to create something amazing. And if you can't get the small things right, then there's a problem, I think. But there's a measure of subjectivity involved as well. So there's always that.
Beyond Space's question, this was something I also wanted to bring up because you brought this up in the past. I had my own thoughts on this. So multiple directions to go here that all lead to the same conclusion. So, Mello, would you think this is the best direction to go, that Naruto should be more like the Gojo All Might figure? Assuming, let's just assume for a moment, we'll put on our pretending caps, so our pretend hats are on. Let's assume the Naruto series is meant to depict Madara as correct. With that in mind, do you think it's
You gotta
better?
cover Madara stuff. You gotta cover Madara because I don't remember what he's correct at.
Everything.
Well, that doesn't help me.
He's correct about mankind and how they're imperfect and how Naruto will never solve the cycle of hatred or violence, blah, blah, because it's the world and the causal nexuses that are bad and that peace doesn't exist and blah, blah, and infinite Tsukiyomi is needed because of all these things, of the universal principles, etc., etc.
Okay.
With that in mind, assuming the Naruto series is trying to present the ultimate conclusion that Madara was correct, Naruto can fight against it, Naruto can beat Madara, but he never actually overcame Madara. Assuming the Naruto series presents Madara as correct, do you think that it's better for the Boruto series to present Naruto as not perfect in all the different ways that they do? I would argue that it is the case for both of those.
Well, I don't want them to present Naruto as perfect at all. So,
well, not perfect, but yeah, I think you get the idea. What I've got, the flawed things of Naruto, the things that you have criticism for, I think are actually, I agree with you, and I think that's a good thing because it further substantiates Madara's point.
Well, I mean, the part of the problem there would just be like, for some of his critiques, for example, Mello's critique of like wanting to see Mello at the apex of his power and be like that Gojo level guy, I feel like that doesn't have any bearing on whether or not Madara infinite Tsukiyomi stuff. I feel like that's just irrelevant because no matter, I don't feel like that. It's not because the world's not perfect that Naruto isn't doing that. Like, that's not why Mello's critiquing that. He's saying he wants to see Naruto go to town. He wants that kind of more superficial, just like, let's go, Naruto, I'm rooting for you energy. Like, he wants the Naruto to win the NBA finals. Like, it's a little different from the Madara critique. Now, if you want to say, like, Naruto bad father, making mistakes at Kawaki, blah, 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 that I feel like you can say more, like, okay, that would get into more of a Madara-related thing. But I feel like some of the critiques would just be irrelevant.
Well, Mello, would you like the chance to address that before? I definitely do.
Well, my critiques for Naruto in the Boruto era is multi-layered. And yeah, you're right. There is a superficial layer to it where I do just want him to do cool things in the way that I would like to see that manifest. And you get that from time to time. I just don't think you get it where it needs to be put. Like, well, this is kind of a rhetorical question, but before the Momoshiki fight, like, I don't feel like I ever really got that moment. And that's like 60 something episodes into the series. So for 60 plus something episodes, like, there's just nothing going on with him directly. And I was told, like, initially it was supposed to be his story too, and then it would fade away to Boruto. I'm like, okay, well, can I get some of that? And it's also, I grew up watching Naruto. I grew up watching his trials and his tribulations, the events surrounding his life, and him trying to strive to be more than he was when he first started, to keep it simply. And I didn't really get that at the end of Naruto, and that was disappointing to me. The war arc stuff was really cool, but I wanted to see Hokage Naruto. That's what you were building up to the entire time, and I never got that in Shippuden the way that I wanted it. So Boruto presented an opportunity to get that. And for me, I felt like Naruto was firing on all cylinders going into the last era. I thought all of that was fantastic. He was just at the peak of his powers. And then you get into the Boruto era, and it feels like it just if excuse me, it feels like it's almost like an abrupt stop. Like you're driving 100 miles per hour and someone slams on the brakes, and then it's like super jarring as one might imagine. Um, but it also feels like a very like slow, drawn out decline of a character. Almost like just think of like some fantasy scenario where you have like a 20-year-old and they like age rapidly to be like, I don't know, a 80-year-old in the course of like 30 seconds. That's what it feels like. Like Naruto was on cloud nine, he was on high for me. And then like he just decreased at a quick but steady pace. And it's so fucking jarring to me. Um, and it's also like it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Like if like he has like father issues. Well, it's like you had father issues yourself. You had parent issues. Like, why would you ever want to inflict that upon your children? He has respect for the Hokage's office to where he won't have clones there, but he doesn't understand that he's disrespecting his household by having clones there. And that contrast is so weird that he doesn't get that. To the point where he just neglects his own daughter at her birthday, sending a clone. Um, it's one incident after another, blah blah blah. But yeah, so that's really what it is. So it's superficial layers to it, but there's also like other layers of depth to the critique, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that right there, we'll stick on that for the first point. So I want to stick on the point of power rather than what Kamui was saying, which I do agree is a better point of the Kawaki dad stuff. I agree that's a better point, but I don't think the power thing is completely irrelevant. And it's also the only thing of which Mello had said in relation to this conversation tonight so far, before Kamui said his thing, which is why I was sticking to that rather than the overall thing that Mello had said, which is why I was doing that. So hopefully Kamui gets that idea. But I don't think it's irrelevant. I do still think it matters, even if to a lesser degree. For example, why is Naruto weaker now than he should be? Well, his battle instinct is dull because of the era piece and blah. And again, I feel like that also goes along with what Madara was saying, or would have believed his ideology would have said would be the case. So it's the expected outcome. It's what I, as the audience, who believed in Madara, believed would happen. I expected it to happen in the Boruto era, and it did happen. So it's also the same
Naruto
problem.
Being rusty.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh yeah, and it's the concept there specifically, like the broader idea of that idea happening, to where him being portrayed as weaker matters in the same extent.
I think it's if I'm understanding you correctly, I think it's the exact opposite for me. And it's the reason why I brought up like the whole parenting thing, because you can contrast Boruto era Naruto with the past versions of Naruto, like the last Shippuden in particular, part 1. And there are things he goes through early on in his life that should reflect later on in his life. So like the whole him breaking down when Boruto dies to Kawaki, well, that should have been resolved with the Neji stuff. So he should have something to fall back on. Like this is a lived experience that he has. So fall back on your lived experiences. That's gone. You don't have your parents. That's a lived experience that you went through. Fall back on that experience. No, you neglect your family, right? So on and so forth. So that's really why I mentioned that. But yeah.
Well, Mello, that's perspective right there, because everything you said, I completely agree with. So it's the same problems of the shinobi world coming back again. And over time, people go back to their old habits. I think it's a good thing, based on Madara being right, that Naruto did do the bad things that he did, as opposed to doing what you said. So I think he should have had that, and that's exactly why he didn't, because that's what Madara believed.
Maybe, but And before I forget this, I want to rub this little bit of contrast in there too. Damn, I think I already forgot it.
So I guess so my point here is, like you're saying, he should have that because we saw they made a point that Naruto did have that when he's a kid and teen and Shippuden and all that. We see him have it. So here, when we see him not have it, that has to be intentional, at least in universe.
When it comes to like him getting rusty, like I don't think that works either. Because of the contrast, given that they're supposed to be a threat beyond Kaguya, and they don't know when that threat is supposed to show up. It could show up in 20 years, 100 years. They don't know. So the idea, like with that looming in the background, the idea that they not only would keep themselves in tip-top shape, but not even prepare the next generation for this. Like they didn't even, like Boruto didn't even know how strong his dad was. Like it's all those things that just creates like an inconsistency for me. It's like, why would these people with this background and this lived experience under this context not keep themselves in shape and prepare? When Ishiki shows up to Konoha in the anime, why doesn't Shikamaru have a plan? Why is he like begging his people to go die for him? Like why? Like why? Like consistently, I keep asking myself this question. Why aren't you preparing the next generation for this? Why? I understand there's an era of peace, but that's not an excuse given the context of the threat beyond Kaguya supposedly looming. So that doesn't make sense to me. But
yeah, so that's where tonight I'm not justifying it, I'm not defending it, I'm not excusing it. I'm agreeing with you. And I'm saying that's exactly why I like it. Because those bad things, those inconsistencies, those things that you see as bad writing, I think based on Madara, it's actually good writing. They're inconsistencies. So it's humankind in Naruto. Mankind is inconsistent. In other words, duality of man. Shout out Madara.
See, my problem there is, and I understand you're not going to like this answer, but like, if Kishimoto was writing the Naruto chapter 785, where it just is the Boruto era, whatever, but like that's not why Ikimoto didn't include those things, or even Kodachi or / the anime studio. They weren't doing it because of Madara. Like realistically, it was just bad writing. Like, at least from Mello's perspective of bad writing. You know, like they weren't writing it because of Madara duality of man. You can obviously like that and say retroactively it works and call it accidental brilliance, I guess, but that's not why they did that.
Well, Kamui, think...
told, like...
Oh, go ahead, Mello.
Ikimoto doesn't consult Naruto, Boruto, anything. He's not writing in character nonsense because of Madara. He doesn't even know who Madara is, probably.
I get told that, fuck, I forgot my point. My bad.
Well, for Kamui, again, we'd be looking at the beginning of the Boruto era for this in particular. The Shin Uchiha stuff with Naruto Gaiden, which is a lot of it. The movie, both of those are written directly by Kishimoto.
So that's it. That's where you're going to get into the, well, what does Kishimoto actually want to say debate? Because, which we're never going to...
And I do still think like Kodachi stuff is probably at least somewhat tangentially related. Kodachi seemed to care. That's very
really quick.
Kodachi cares, but the question if he's doing anything for Madara reasons.
That's fair, but I think he probably should. Anyways, go ahead.
No. I was told that like Naruto's story with Boruto, like the neglectful father, the whatever you want to label Boruto, insert label their son. I was told that was like Kishimoto infusing his like real life stuff into the material.
Yeah, he was.
So not only is it inconsistent because there's a threat beyond Kaguya supposedly looming, and they do fuck all about that, but also they seem to be in the state that they are in the canon because of a self-insert by the author or writer, whatever you want to label him at this point. So it's like in service of your selfish desire to self-insert into the series, you've made your characters less than, and it's inconsistent with the context that they should be under. So it's like a third layer of like bullshit there as well. But just wanted to get that out before I forgot it. But, yeah.
So I do think a lot of these concepts presented in Boruto are actually very similar, and in fact, like the exact same thing with the Naruto ending. Except I don't think that many people, including you, including myself, would look at that as problems with the Naruto ending. They aren't flaws, nor are they problems in Boruto, except other people do see them as flaws in Boruto. I just think that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't really see a problem with the ending, but yeah, I'm not really sure, but yeah.
So okay, let's go with the idea. Kishimoto wants Madara to be correct. He wants that to be a takeaway of Naruto. With that in mind, how would you change Boruto's series to keep that intact? Or do you think it is written in the way that does keep that intact? Because I do.
Remind me one more time of Madara's whatever philosophy or
so ideology. Okay, I'll break it down to you this way. So what Kishimoto's trying to say with Naruto is that the same problems with Naruto harken back time and time again. That's the whole shinobi system, the cycle conflict. That's the reincarnated, blah, blah, the cycle of hatred, blah, blah. Same problems keep coming time and time again. That's shinobi history that Naruto's fighting with Zetsu about. In Boruto, one of the first things we get are the times have changed, but shinobi have not. That was one of the big takeaways about the Boruto movie. The times have changed, but shinobi have not. The soul of the shinobi is still the same. That's Sasuke won the bet with Naruto. So you look at what a shinobi.
By the way, I have a problem with that, by the way, too. But continue.
Okay. Well, I'm curious about that. But so you look at what a shinobi is in Naruto, since we're coming off of that. That's what it means. So what does being a shinobi mean? Oh, it means one to endure. But it's you look at the Land of Waves. Being a shinobi is about being a human, not about being a tool. What is a human? It's this emotional thing. But you look at what Madara's saying about humanity.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Just my interpretation of that scene with Zabuza is being a shinobi is to be a tool, but it's to be a human that is suppressed, highly suppressed of their emotions, and that's why they end up being more robotic and more tool-like. Not that it's to be human, but it's to be less human. It's to be anti-human, almost a machine that they're striving for. But that's
I completely understand that. I do think that's like Will of Fire propaganda to some extent of just the shinobi world. But I do think Kakashi early on is also presenting the antithesis of that idea, because it's not one and the same. It's the choice: either abandon your mission or abandon your friends. Do you want to be scum or do you want to be worse than scum? It's not you can do both at the same time. It's you gotta choose which one do you want to do. And then also at the same time, Naruto saying, oh, I'll be a fool for the rest of my life at the end of part 1. That's him being human rather than being shinobi. He's rejecting the shinobi path by doing that.
The shinobi ideal at the time is to be a tool. But, Zabuza is asserting in the very beginning there of that at the end of the day, even shinobi are human, no matter how much we try not to be. We can't, or at least he couldn't do it.
Which is also reflected perfectly with Sakura.
To be honest with you, if he can't do it, that's why that arc's so freaking good.
I know. It's also reflected through Sakura crying at Sasuke, saying, oh, the Shinobi Handbook, the Shinobi Rule 19.
Don't cry.
Can't cry. And as she's crying. Exactly, yeah. And Sakura, the perfect Shinobi over here.
It's, So Naruto, he has like layers to a degree to where he wants to, because he's selfish and petulant. Like, I'm using these words on purpose. Like, I'm not just like trying to name call the person. I think this is an observation of his character at the time. He desires to be a shinobi, but he doesn't want to be a shinobi in the way that it's established, that's traditionally thought of. He wants to manifest that in his own light, in his own image, which I agree with. He absolutely should do this. I don't care if it's petulant or selfish. Like, who cares? Like, it's my life. So if I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna do it my way. But he never takes it as far as I feel he needs to in order to arrive at, we start roping in Jiraiya's philosophy and so on and so forth, in order to arrive at some, at least get as close as possible to, breaking certain cycles within that system. That's why I always say Naruto is like a horrible Hokage, because in order for him to be an actual good one, he shouldn't be one to begin with. He should create a world where a Hokage is not even necessary, where child soldiers aren't necessary. And the fact that he couldn't arrive at that conclusion, he just perpetuated the system in a slightly different way. And that is because he's selfish. He was screaming for so long that he wanted to be Hokage. And how can you become Hokage and fulfill that childhood dream if there's no system that needs a Hokage? It's almost like Batman, right? He so selfishly wants to be the Cape Crusader Batman, that being Bruce Wayne, that he seems to go about his vigilante activities in a way that creates a cycle that repeats over and over again, a self-fulfilling prophecy that allows him to keep doing the thing he wants to do. But there are things he could do to put it into crime, at least so much so that to where Batman's not even needed. But that's not what he himself wants. So Naruto can have a layer of depth to where he wants to be his own version of Shinobi, but he's still a Shinobi. He's still a Hokage.
Well, exactly, because that's the beauty of the Naruto character. We have to consider who Naruto is as a character. Naruto is also a byproduct of the Shinobi system, of the Shinobi world, of the Will of Fire propaganda. Naruto said he viewed Hiruzen in such a good light, like his own grandpa. He wanted to be a Hokage just like Hiruzen. Naruto said that. You look at the war arc, Hiruzen had like nothing but regrets. All of the Hokage did. All the Hokage were bad Hokage. Naruto admired, demolished them. I don't know, all of the A words that are positive content. He did all of those for all the Hokage. So he wants to be just like them. Yeah.
But this gets back to his petulance and his selfishness, because the reason why he wants to be Hokage, from my read, is that he's a lonely little boy and he's not getting attention. And that's like a base level. And he looks at the Hokage as the number one guy that's getting all the attention, the shining light in the darkness. So he wants to, I'll be the next Hokage, a ninja legend, so that the villagers can look up to me and treat me with respect. Like he said this to Iruka in the ramen shop, I think. So he has a very superficial, it's like his son Boruto. He has a very superficial desire. Oh, Sasuke, I like Sasuke because he contrasts my father. My father's rival, he gets my father's attention. I want my father's attention. He's so cool. Contrast to my father, I want to be like him. A very superficial desire. The interesting thing about Naruto is that he's actually a grown-ass 30-something-year-old man, still coasting off the boyhood dream
exactly
that he came up with when he was so petulant and so immature. And I'm like, at some point you gotta kind of grow out of that, bro.
Well, that's the beauty though, because in a lot of ways Naruto's grown, in a lot of other ways Naruto hasn't, and I think that's also a big part of the point. Naruto from the very beginning didn't have any parents. He was disconnected from society to an extent. He can do whatever he wants. He was a rambunctious kid who got to basically get away with whatever. And by that same extent, he didn't fall under the same principles as everyone else. That's why he was able to question the things that he, Naruto, realized he didn't like. He starts calling it out. But at the same time, he's going to call out these things that he doesn't like. But at the same time, those very same things he doesn't like are being perpetuated by the Shinobi system that he does like, by Hiruzen. But Naruto realizes he doesn't like those one things, but Naruto never realized he didn't like Hiruzen doing them. So on one hand, he doesn't like those things. On the other hand, he likes Hiruzen who's doing those things. Naruto never put two and two together. I think that there's something beautiful in that. Because that's Naruto's
I think that
character.
Makes him... Well...
I also think to an extent that shows the propaganda, because on one end, Naruto is brainwashed like everyone else. He believes Hiruzen's a good guy, and basically no matter what, he can't not believe that, because that's the society he was raised in. At the same time, he wasn't really raised in the first place, so he's able to view it from a completely different light as well. But both of those exist at the same time.
I agree with your last point, but in terms of the beauty of it, well, I can't really disagree with a subjective, perspective there. So I can respect that you feel that way about it. I think whatever beauty that it could be found in that particular path for the character, I think it does a disservice to the path that I would have preferred the character walk. So therefore I'm not a fan of that particular path.
Well, but I understand
I think ultimately, think ultimately Naruto is a failed character because he cannot, because of the things that you mentioned and I mentioned, he just can't arrive at the conclusions that you would imagine he ought to arrive at, given his stated goals, given Jiraiya's philosophy and his teachings and so on and so forth.
So, well, that's interesting because Jiraiya was a failure as well, which gets into a whole other can of worms. But so you did say your preferred path. I'm assuming that you want Madara to be wrong in the Naruto series. You prefer that path of the story.
Not necessarily. Given what I remember, what you said about what Madara wants, I would say yes to that, but also, and I would
Oh,
doing it. I just don't like the how.
you cut out a little bit there at the end.
I was going to say it's not what you do, it's how you do it. I'm okay
Okay.
with them doing it. I just don't like the how they went about it in the canon.
Okay. Well, I think they could have made it slightly more clear, but I also think it's a point that's made stronger by not making it clear, so that the people that get it, they get it even more, even if less people get it. You get it? That's good copy, shout out. Good copy. I was assuming. Anyways, okay. So here's my thing.
Mhm.
Do we think in the Land of Waves, and this is a question for both of you, Land of Waves, do we think humans are presented as good? So I'll expand on that a little bit. The Land of Waves, being a shinobi is wrong. Being a human is right. So a very basic conclusion you could come from that is, oh, shinobi bad, human good. But at the same time, you have Kakashi saying, you can either be scum or worse than scum. You can be trash or worse than trash. Which one do you want to be? So the question is being a human a good thing or a bad thing in the Land of Waves by the end of it?
Well, real quick about the Kakashi point, because the problem there is that's in the ninja world, and
I
it's
know.
in reference to like shinobi. So like you can be a good shinobi, you can be a trash shinobi, or an even more trash shinobi. Like you could interpret that way. But the other thing is about the human good would be, well, Gato's not a shinobi, he's just a bad guy. So I don't know that they're inherently saying just all humans are good. I think would be more that it's good to embrace your humanity. You shouldn't shut away your humanity. Not that just all humans are Peachy Daisy, Princess Peach, or anything.
I think it depends on whatever construct you're adhering to, right? So it's just a perspective thing, really. Good is not inherently true. Neither is evil or bad or any of these things. These are subjective things. So it's important. So from the perspective of like a Gato, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
What he's doing is good for him. What Zabuza's doing is good for him. What Naruto's doing is good for him. But they're all just selfish desires at the end of the day. Like I said with Naruto. No matter what you get, you're dealing with a story of humans. They just manifest in slightly different ways. Naruto's a ninja, but he wants to be a ninja in the way that he wants it to be. Zabuza's a ninja, but he's more of a traditional type of ninja who has a breakdown towards the end and has some measure of redemption. Gato is a human, but he's I don't know, some whatever the fuck Gato is. I don't know, gangster mob boss type of personality.
Awful person.
Yeah, so it's a story about humans that present in slightly different ways, in very different ways, I guess I would say, strangely enough. But no matter what, it depends on like okay, so what the story is trying to push, um, it's going to be different than like individual subjective point of views, like the reader and individual characters, whatever the case may be. So I would say like from like a story protagonist antagonist type of perspective, um, I don't even still this question is impossible to really answer in any objective sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
about,
interesting answer.
like we're saying, interpretation, which comes down to perspective. And I am trying to like present this through a lens you might not have ever thought about before. So I'm trying to keep it
Yeah, sure.
concise and cohesive in a way to where you can follow it pretty easily. Because I think it's a very interesting idea to where it's not going to make you like Boruto, but maybe not understand it through a different perspective, but maybe appreciate it through a different kind of lens, even if you don't see that lens through all the way. I don't know. Either way, okay. So I think what Kamui said is very interesting, because I was considering Gato when I said, are all humans good or bad in Land of Waves? And I'm looking further ahead because I'm looking at what Madara said, the broader picture of humankind. He's not specifying Shinobi, he's specifying all of humankind. Kakashi, he is saying in the Shinobi world, and he's specifying Shinobi. So Gato wouldn't be included. He's not part of it. He's irrelevant to the Land of Waves, Shinobi, or human path. So you would only consider Shinobi for that, which I do think can work. But obviously, again, like I was saying, later on, Madara is specifying everyone, as opposed to Kakashi, who was specifying only humans. So I think that's interesting. Kamui, do you agree with that? Thoughts on the...
Well, see, I don't think that Kakashi thinks I'm inhuman. It's just that, like...
Well, okay, real quick on that, because you did say earlier, and maybe you misspoke, but I do think what Kakashi is trying to say that you got close but didn't quite say, again, you might have misspoke, is that Kakashi's line, you can be trash or more trash, he's saying you can either be a trash shinobi or an even more trash human.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I agree with.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So either way, you're a bad person, bad human. It's just about, do you want to be a bad human or a worse human?
Well, it's
If
like,
you're a
do you want
shinobi.
to be a bad ninja or a bad person?
So, okay,
And of course, this is under the hypothetical of where you do have to choose between the mission and your friends. Because there's plenty of situations where you can just be both a good person and a good human. But he's saying there's going to be a time where you have to choose between, do you want to be a good shinobi and a bad person, or do you want to be a bad shinobi and a good person?
And obviously, whenever Kakashi says that, he's quoting Obito, he said that not during some random, like, philosophical, this or that. He's saying it in the middle of a mission where it was that particular impossible choice, where it was choose one or the other.
Essentially, what you can say in light of something I said earlier is that when presented with the choice of being a shinobi, aka tool, and being human, you should choose to be human first. Like, humanity, being a shinobi shouldn't come at the cost of your humanity. It's essentially the idea. So, again, when it comes to Gato, like, Gato's just a bad dude. And, again, I don't think Kishimoto's trying to convince us that Gato was a good guy. Not saying all humans are good. It's more about, like, you shouldn't tuck away your humanity to be a shinobi, because being human is the most important thing. And basically, in a way, even if Kakashi isn't doing a whole lot to fight its way to change the shinobi system, the fact that he's really advocating for this does kind of show where he stands on that debate.
So I think that Kishimoto has a very interesting way,
Naruto, but like that is where his heart lies.
I agree. So Kishimoto has a very interesting way of developing his themes. For example, the first arc is about dreams. Okay, so it says a lot about dreams. The second arc, the main antagonist has a dream, Orochimaru. That's supposed to be a good thing based on Land Waves, except it's not, because Kishimoto took that idea and developed it further. He said that Orochimaru had a twisted ambition. That's developing the idea. Okay, so dreams are good, but now let's add a little bit of context and nuance to where it's under the specific context, and if you go this other route with it, then dreams are actually a bad thing, as opposed to not having dream, or whatever you want to go with that direction. Similarly, I think you can say the same thing about the human idea. Okay, Land of Waves, shinobi should embrace their humanity. Looking beyond that, now that I've said that, what can I say about that? Okay, so they're going to be humans. What does being human look like? And again, I think having a dream would be part of being human. Okay, Orochimaru, he's a human, he has a dream. How can I make Orochimaru a bad guy? Oh, he has a twisted ambition. Okay, so we're developing what humanity looks like, both the good side and the bad side of it. It's a good thing to be human, but what are humans? Okay, well, there's these complex creatures, they can have regret, blah, blah. By the war arc, we're getting to see what that means, and Madara's like the master of all things human. So when he's saying humans are very complex and have this duality. I think that's important.
I don't think it's not important. But
So, okay.
I don't think what was he trying to do? Like give everybody like a paradise in the Infinite Tsukuyomi, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, like I think his conclusion was ultimately flawed. But all of it is on a foundation of subjectivity. Like even you calling like Orochimaru evil, that's not objectively true. Like there's just subjectivity across the board here. But from my subjective point of view, without stress, without struggle, without that contrast, you can't really progress and grow in a meaningful way. Like you need to have like those quote like a utopia just wouldn't work, bro. Like I don't think Naruto or whatever the hell Jiraiya was trying to achieve, I don't think there was some like absolutist way. I don't even think you should take it like hyper literal. I think essentially it is how can we create a construct that best to the best of its ability addresses this issue that we've identified for as long as possible. Like, how can we address it and then sustain that fix for as long as possible? It's not to say that we can exist in a utopic world where there's no conflict and no hatred that ever exists. That's impossible.
That's where it gets interesting, though. But please continue.
I think that's what Madara was kind of aiming for, is an impossible like goal. Like he wanted the end of the species because there's no progression at that point. So yeah.
So here's my thing. What did Naruto, Jiraiya, basically everyone else wanted? They wanted a perfect world of peace, a peaceful world. I think Madara is looking beyond that, and Kamui, you're gonna laugh because you're definitely gonna disagree. Because it's the Infinite Tsukuyomi, it's the world of dreams. He's trying to make a world. I think Madara is looking beyond a world, and he's realizing a perfect world needs perfect humans, and humanity's not going to change. So you can't do that. You can't change the world because that's not addressing the fundamental issue, that being humanity. I think that's what Madara was more so focused on than the world. Madara is not trying to change the world. In fact, he gave up on trying to change the world when he left the village because humans were running it. That's what Madara realized, so he's not interested in diplomacy or anything else he could try to do to change the world. He's more interested in about changing humanity through the Infinite Tsukuyomi, in my opinion.
But humanity is the world. Because you're not really getting the world through the lens of like a dog or something. Unless
but exactly that.
In this verse, dogs do think and talk, to be fair, so that's a little weird. But yeah.
So like we said, Naruto kind of changed the world, but not really. Like you were saying, there's still a lot of problems with the world. There's the Rain Village. There's still little kids are going out as Shinobi and dying. Naruto didn't change that. But Naruto can change parts of the world and not parts of it as well. Naruto can change the world and not at the same time, but he's not changing humanity, and humanity's always going to limit that change in the world. It's going to hold back the world to where we can't get a perfect world, a perfect society because of humanity. It doesn't matter what you change or how much you change of the world. If anything, humans, because they're imperfect, they're going to change the perfect world back into the imperfect world. They'll revert the progress.
It's the same.
I feel like that doesn't align with your previous Madara things you've said, though, where it's been about the world. Like, you said too much of that to, like, say this now, I feel like.
Well, it can definitely be both, Kamui. I don't see a problem with that.
It's the same with, like, any system. Like, if Naruto actually built a new system, then there are going to be people that benefited from the old one. And and that creates contrast. So now they know what they don't want. And they'll try to fight like hell to get back to a system that mirrors the one that Naruto changed. So no matter what you do, in the shadow of one system will be born the next. Because you can't please everybody. This is the brilliance, I think, of Talk no Jutsu. Is that Naruto's method of changing the world is to change the internal world first, thus changing the outward expression. And he's not really choosing, but he finds himself interacting with people who not only have the will to change the world, but the actual power to change the world. And he doesn't need to change Joe Blow or the local guy at the ramen shop's mind. he needs to change the big dog's mind, because the sheep will follow who's at the top, and he keeps encountering people at the top with the power and the will to change the world. So his talk no jutsu is actually brilliant, a brilliant mechanic given the so see, he's basically doing what Madara is trying to do, just on a more quote unquote humanitarian level. He's not forcing it onto you. He does it through dialogue and communication. But it's still on a foundational level, it's still the same thing. You're trying to influence people with your particular ideology through speech, through language, through emotion, so on and so forth. So,
yeah. I mean, I think that he did force a change on Obito, but that's a discussion for another day that Kamui does not want to get into.
No, for sure. Like, he definitely did.
Exactly. Okay, well, I'm glad you agree.
So like, where Madara is like trying to enslave the entire world, like Naruto, he's not trying to do this, but he influences the players.
I agree.
Who are going to shape and move the world, and he himself becomes one as a result of this process. So as long as you can change at what's going on at the top, the bottom will just follow that.
Well,
so his method is more efficient ultimately than Madara's. But once Madara gets all his pieces together, is definitely more impactful, I think. But
that's why I do think there's a beauty in it. So let's just say for right now that Hiruzen, all the flaws of the shinobi world that he perpetuated, he knew that. He was doing so intentionally. I don't think that's actually the case. I think he was just doing what Hashirama taught him, and it's a systemic issue, and I think the problems start with Hashirama. But let's just say that Hiruzen knew. Naruto is following in Hiruzen's footsteps. Naruto is perpetuating it without knowing. He's doing the same thing. He's mimicking. He's parroting Hiruzen, who did know, but Naruto doesn't know. So I agree with you, Mello, that Naruto, when he's talking to Obito, he is forcing that change, but Naruto doesn't realize it per se. But he's still doing it. He's still doing that same evil, even if he's not intentionally doing so. He doesn't realize it, but he's still doing it. Same thing as Hiruzen in that same context.
It's interesting you use the word evil. Do you think it's evil?
I'm using evil in like a very specific way, in the way that like Kishimoto would think of writing villains, because I'm sure you would agree. Like, well, first of all, we agree. Orochimaru, he's not necessarily evil in Konoha Crush. It depends on perspective. And Kishimoto does a really good job of doing that. Trust me, Mello. I, of all people, know that with my 3-hour Orochimaru script. Freaking humanizing that guy to hell and back, let me tell you. But it's about the idea of like how Kishimoto's trying to write a villain, and if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think Kishimoto requires them to be evil, but I just think he's just another expression of humanity ultimately.
Exactly, and I think that's beautiful as well, by the way. Going back to what Kamui was saying, oh, it's too late for you to say this, Oodie. So the reason I'm saying this now and didn't say it before, it's not that. Yes, I'm saying one and not the other, whereas before I said the other and not this one. Okay, I'm saying humanity is the problem, not the problem is, Kamui, it's both.
And what you said earlier was like something along the lines of Madara's not doing it to change the world, he's doing it to change humanity, which, again, that's not to say that he doesn't expect the world to change too, but you're saying the real reason, the number one reason's humanity, whereas in the past it would have been the other way around, where it's the world that's the big problem that needs changing. That's what I'm referring to.
Well, I do think there is a priority here, but they are both needed. They're both necessities, well, so it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter which one's the priority over the other. Priority? It doesn't matter which one, because both of them.
It does for the reason I said the thing I said.
Okay, ignoring that, because prioritizing one over the other is irrelevant when both of them have to have the priority, if that makes sense. Because let's say that Madara focuses on one, and he doesn't focus on the other as much. You still need both to change, absolutely. Absolutely, well, as in, like, perfectly, as in 100% of the way.
Okay, so this is the goofy argument, but I think it's fair to bring up. I'm going to argue that the world's really the problem in Madara's point of view. And do you know why? And not humanity.
Okay.
You know why I'm saying that?
Why?
Because if it was humanity, why is he putting cats in the Infinite Tsukiyomi? Clearly,
Okay,
humanity's not his problem.
Oh,
It's the
good for
I
world.
did
that
say it was the
one.
goofy take, so there you go.
Stupid. That's so stupid. So my point
Orochimaru's a snake, and he was still God.
my point with saying that, so what I was saying earlier is, hypothetically, if Naruto made the perfect world, then humans would make it unperfect again. Well, first of all, that's not possible. Naruto can't make the world perfect. So that's already hypothetical. That can't happen. Secondly, hypothetically, if Naruto made all humans perfect, that doesn't matter for the same reason, because the world isn't perfect and would therefore corrupt humans once again. So you really need
I just think
both.
they're just trying to, or at least they're echoing at the idea of trying to arrive at a conclusion that they shouldn't even waste their time attempting to arrive at, personally. And I would have liked there to be a moment where maybe Naruto has like a quiet reflection about that. About
Naruto's
being
not that kind of
Hokage
character.
and about the
See, that's where it's beautiful though. Sasuke, both Naruto and Sasuke realized there's flaws with the shinobi system. Sasuke had an answer to change the system at the very end in their final fight. Naruto rejected that answer, but Naruto didn't have his own answer for how to fix the system. Naruto's answer was to endure. He's giving it's not that bad. He's saying, tough it out. He's not saying, here's a solution to the pain. He's saying the pain doesn't matter as much as you make it out to be, Sasuke. And that's the exact same thing Itachi was doing. Itachi said he understands the flaws of the shinobi world of Konoha, but then he's saying that to Naruto in the work. But then he's later on going to Kabuto and saying, I know these flaws, but even still, I'm Itachi of the Leaf. So Itachi understands the problems with the Leaf Village, and he still supports the Leaf Village. He's perpetuating the idea that it's not going to change. Itachi, like Naruto, is fighting for the village to not change, despite having these problems, and despite him being aware of those problems. That's where I think it's beautiful. Because Naruto, like all of humankind, is bashing their head against the wall, stubbornly fighting against the idea of change. They're fighting against Sasuke, who has a solution. It might not be a perfect solution, but at least it's a solution.
Yeah, no, I think that scene would have been perfect for them to actually have that contemplation. Instead of Naruto, maybe
I don't. So to be clear, the idea here is that Naruto can't have that reflection. I don't want Naruto to have that reflection in the same way I don't want Itachi to. That's not their character, and I like their character the way it is, as a reflection of humanity, exactly as Madara described it. Other characters like Sasuke, I do like, and Madara, I do like to have that reflection, but I want Naruto and Itachi and all those characters like that, Hashirama, I want to always fight against that idea.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I chose that scene in particular, is because Sasuke's there to contrast Naruto. There should have been a back and forth between the two ideologies, and I think Naruto should have been forced to make a concession somewhere in the middle. But I don't even think Naruto really convinced Sasuke of anything. It was just really Sasuke had like I always say it's will and the power to make your will manifest, and Sasuke had both. But Naruto stripped him of his power to make the will manifest. So in absence of that power, he was forced to rely on the victor's perspective, because he didn't have any means in which to make his will manifest. And then ultimately he just conceded. I don't even think Naruto convinced him of shit. So
it was an emotional loss, not an ideological loss.
Yeah, like I think Naruto in that, I think Sasuke could have done more to express like what, like I think take some of Sasuke's, some of Naruto's, put them together and find some kind of mix. And however way you want to like write that scene out, I think that should have been done, but that's not what was done. Sasuke was just forced to concede outright to Naruto's whim, and Naruto's not even really trying to be like some beacon that everyone can look up to, like an All Might. he just kind of like everyone else around him puts him in that position. It's external working towards him rather than internal working outwardly. So he's supposed to be that kind of lead by example. I don't have an answer for you right now, or in general, but I guess his answer are the people around him, his bonds that he's cultivated. Going back to the Obito stuff, the people around him can help him find that solution, and their solution is to have him lead by example, so that they can look up to him as the shining beacon and so on and so forth. I just don't think that solution worked, but
well, exactly. And again, I think that's beautiful. Their solution is to hope for one day for there to be a solution when that one day is never going to come, but they're not going to stop hoping for it. Oh, it's a beautiful message, except it's actually not, because there's an existentialism in it. Because I do think that to an extent, Mello, you're going to resonate with that. That gets to like a human fear. That's resistance to change. I feel like you in particular have seen that a lot in people recently. It's uncomfortable to people. They're scared to do it. They don't want to do it. They like where they're at. Whether the change is good or bad, they would rather stay stagnant. That's human nature.
But Naruto's supposed to be a contrast to that particular side of human nature. And this is the reason why I think he's a failed character. And, well, one of the reasons is because he again, to be that shining all might type of character, he should have abolished that system to begin with and created something entirely new in its absence. But they chose a person who on the surface level could be that shine that everyone like looked up to, but underneath, like you get even like a layer deeper, and he's still just a shinobi. He still perpetuates the same system. So he was not the guy. He was not the guy to get behind if that was your goal, to create like the all might figure that everyone could emulate. What could they emulate from him? The same old, just wrapped up in a different package. Ultimately, like his son is still a soldier. His son lost his life. Like that still persists to this day, really.
But that right there,
there's nothing to really look up for. It's like it's the illusion. They put them all in a genjutsu, metaphorically speaking, by having them look up to a person that seemingly is different, but it's the same shit just repackaged. That's all.
Exactly. So I think that there's layers to this, because I think on the surface level, you can say they're trying to present Naruto like that. The casual fan, they might get that idea. I think deeper down, you might get a different interpretation. I think this exact same thing is with Naruto. The Will of Fire and Hiruzen are presented as correct and light and good and righteous and virtuous and just and lawful and all these things early on in Naruto. They're the yin to the yang, or whichever the good half is. I can never keep that in mind.
Me neither. I always forget.
That's a good one. But deeper down, you do some.
Yin is the dark.
Yeah, you do some digging, some analysis, you start realizing that might not actually be the case, and that might not have actually been the case all along. It's just later on, when it becomes more evident, when you start to realize it in retrospect, that it was always there. I think the same can be said for Naruto. It might seem like it's the goal to make Naruto this almighty, infallible figure at first, and to an extent, I think that is the surface level. But I think there is layers here, which is, again, I think a very complex writing thing to do, to where I think deep down, that was never actually the goal the whole time. I do think the goal for Naruto's character and for the Boruto era has been exactly what they've done with the character and for the era in this kind of way.
Again, I would just say it's not what you do, it's how you go about doing it. I don't mind that they're trying to do that, but I just don't like the way they went about it. I think they could have had their cake and eat it too.
See, I feel like for you, it ruins Naruto as a character, but the way I view Naruto as a character, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, how Naruto, he was raised with no parents, but at the same time, he was raised in Konoha still, so it's both applies. So this also goes back to the world's the problem versus humanity's the problem. The basic answer here would be nature versus nurture. Nature applies to both humanity and the world. That's what Madara's real problem is. That's his priority for Kamui's priority. It's not humans or the world, it's both at the same time through nature rather than nurture. Because yes, Naruto was never nurtured in the same way that everyone else was, but despite that, Naruto has that difference, but Naruto has the similarity to where Naruto is a human. He's a human being. And that has the same similarity as every other human. So what Madara says about humans applies even to Naruto, despite Naruto being different from other humans.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't disagree with that part. Yeah.
So where this gets to is a very simple train of logic, simple thought.
Mhm.
Land of Waves, it's the idea that Shinobi are human. Okay, so then what are human? Madara says duality of man. Humans are both good and bad. So okay, humans are bad. So you get to the Boruto era. Even though the times have changed, the soul of a shinobi has not. So that's multi-layered, multifaceted right there. First of all, Madara was correct. Humankind didn't change. Humankind can't change. Despite the times changing, humanity hasn't changed. So first of all, humanity's not going to change if the times don't change. That right there, that's already enough. But the fact that the times have changed and humanity still hasn't changed, that says something about what Madara says.
But that just gets back to my analysis to where Naruto is the perception of change, but he's really just maintaining the status quo.
Exactly.
So yeah, sure, time has passed, but the times have not changed. They're the same. They're manifesting in a slightly different way. But foundationally, the feudal lords still in power. They still have the answer to the elders. They still have child labor and child soldiers and prey on their own children in their society. Like it's the same stuff, just repackaged and repurposed. It's the illusion of change. So that's why you're not going to see much change. The statement, the shinobi spirit or whatever you said, has remained the same essentially. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine so, given that nothing actually changed. And even Sasuke himself is trying to perpetuate the same old shit with his student Boruto. Like never once does Sasuke ask like, "Hey Naruto, why is your son a ninja? Hey Naruto, why do we even need ninja? Like, hey Naruto, like why? Like you're not preparing them for the supposed threat beyond Kaguya. So like, what are they doing? Like he never like, hey, can I be your student, Uncle Sasuke? He should have said no. You shouldn't even be a ninja anyways, and that should have had conflict between him and Naruto. I mean, maybe Sasuke is not the one to levy that particular critique. You can pick somebody else, but yeah, just some thoughts on it.
Yeah, so I think that's exactly good. What you said right there, that's exactly it. I really like the word illusion that you used because, like you said, yeah, I agree. On the surface level, the times have changed, but that's an illusion because realistically, they haven't changed. In fact, I think that's to an extent part of the propaganda that they are unintentionally carrying on. And whether you think the writers are doing that intentionally or not is another thing. But I think at least Kishimoto was doing that intentionally at first. Because I think that same word, illusion, I think just as it applies to Boruto through that era of change, I think that applies to Hiruzen and the Hokage position and Konoha. It's an illusion that it looks good, both to the characters in universe and to the audience. But again, it's an illusion. Deep down, that's not actually the case. There's something more going on. And you can even see those layers on a rewatch, if you're paying attention and actively looking for them and all these things. But I think that's beautiful. But at the same time, something more that you're saying, the soul of Shinobi never changes. You look at Boruto. Okay, so the times have changed. So Boruto's nurture has changed. But that doesn't matter, because just like Naruto, Boruto is a human. So Boruto has human nature, just like Naruto. That's the thing that matters, because what Sasuke says doesn't change. It's going to be that. Boruto's nurture changed, but that didn't change his nature as a human being. So Madara was right. Humans don't change. Humanity isn't going to change.
See, but I don't agree with this analysis necessarily, because I think where you first need to, maybe me saying I don't agree is not accurate to my position. I think what we need to explore is humanity and what is a human, and not just assume that like what they're saying a human is what a human is.
Well, I specifically, I'm looking at
Oh,
really quick.
sure.
I'm looking at the Naruto series to do analysis in the series based on what Naruto would be saying, or the series is saying, rather than looking at like a broad concept and then applying that to Naruto. So it's doing the opposite process there.
Well, I think and I think when you say like a broad concept, you mean like applying like a real world kind of atop the fantasy world of Naruto.
Yeah, so it would be about what Naruto would say about our world rather than what we can say with our world about the Naruto. Because there's things that the Naruto world just isn't saying about humanity that applies to humans in real life that the Naruto series is just never going to touch in the first place.
Well, that's not true. This is why the reason why I brought it up, because you still have, just like in real life, you have human beings who are unconsciously adhering to external constructs that they themselves did not create. This was one of my critiques about Boruto as a character. Um, and you can overlay again that to people in real life, adhering to external. Like for me, like I have all these labels, my name, my I am a man. That is an external construct that I have in the past unconsciously adhered to that I did not create. And if I don't create it, then then what's inside that construct can be manipulated and altered. Thus, I can be manipulated and altered because I didn't create it. It's the same thing. So that's why I'm saying, like, you have to get to the heart of what an actual human is. And if in that fantasy world, they are adhering to those external constructs unconsciously, like in the real world, then that is a similarity that you can piggyback off of. So I think human beings are like a canvas, a blank canvas, and whatever soil or whatever well, let's go with the soil example, visual. Whatever soil you plant humanity in, that's going to manifest what humanity becomes. And I think you take Madara, he's a product of his environment and the place and the time that he grew up in, the Warring States period. So that is harsh soil. So it produced harsh people, and that influenced his perspective on people, thus humanity as a broad category. But had he been brought up in a time like, say, Sarda, it's more likely to be the case that his perspective on humanity would be fundamentally different. In fact, I would say it would definitively be so. Now, it's difficult to say use Sarda as an example because her era is influenced by the past, and that's like a cumulative thing. But just say remove Madara from the Warring States period and put him in an era um, that is the contrast to that, the opposite of that. Yeah, I 100% think he would have a different perspective on humanity. Thus, that would influence our analysis as analysts of the series. But
I completely agree.
You have to figure out what humanity actually is.
No, I think this is a very, very huge thing. I touch on this in great depth elsewhere. But no, I completely agree. Madara's lived experience was like half of the piece of the puzzle, if not like the majority of it. It's a huge thing for Madara's character, his lived experience. He's the only one who experienced everything he did, which is so important for everything. It's like the quintessential idea of the soul of the idea. But getting away from that, I think you understood what I said, but you're like reversing what I said based on what I said of what you heard. I don't know. So we agree.
No, I just don't think that we should take their word for it. I don't think they're like reliable narrators for what humanity is. I think they're traumatized people who came up in a very volatile era, and that shapes their perspective on humanity. But that doesn't make them correct. That just makes them subjectively correct, I suppose. It's not objectively true what they're saying about humanity. And if it's not objectively true about the species, then yes, the species can and will change. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is about humanity in Naruto, as presented in Naruto, rather than how that applies to us, because I agree that there's a lot of things in Naruto that apply to the real world, but obviously the Naruto series is limited, unlike real life, which automatically by default covers everything. The Naruto series is limited to its writing, to where it can only say what it does say, and if it hasn't written everything, which it hasn't, because it's bound by the idea of writing everything, it's not really a possibility. So it can only say what it, so it's limited to what it doesn't say. It's restricted in that way, unlike real life where we can say anything because everything exists all at once.
But I did make a accurate parallel though. I didn't like.
No, I agree. So we completely agree. I think it's just we're wording it in different ways.
How so? I don't think so.
Well, the idea is that we don't disagree.
No, I do disagree. Well, I disagree with, again, just the premise that Madara was correct because he said so. That's what I'm disagreeing with.
No, so what I'm saying is the Naruto logic, the Naruto universe. So as another example, Sasuke was like on the Madara side. He was basically trying to do what Madara did at the end. Naruto is on the opposite of the Madara side. He's against
real quick,
Madara.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You said the Naruto like perspective or like the Naruto verse, like whose perspective are we viewing it through? Are we viewing it through like some omnipotent narrator or like the actual characters in the verse?
Basically, it would just basically from Kishimoto's perspective. It's we're using how you would. Yeah, I guess narrator would be the best. However, you would summarize the series. However, the official people would summarize the series or the events. However, they would detail or describe it.
So how would you go about parsing that? Like what they think about the series, if not measuring it through the characters that they speak through?
I think just through what the series is trying to say, rather than our.
Yeah, but like if that the way how it tries to say it is through the characters, is it not? And in addition to what the characters say, but also like the fates of the characters. And sometimes a character might die because of his flaw.
Well,
for
exactly.
example,
So it's not literally through dialogue, if that's what you mean. It can be through the conclusions, which don't necessarily have to include characters at all in the first place.
Or there's like a totality of things that a writer would use to express what they're trying to disseminate to the reader, and characters are definitely one of them. So that's what I'm saying. You can use music, you can use like visual cues, you can use lighting, you can use a whole host of elements at your disposal. But characters are 100% one, and unless you can mention another one of those things, I think the characters are probably the go-to thing that you would start off with, and those characters have a history that informs their perspective.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Which, by the way, side note, that's another reason why the world can never be perfect, because it's being built off the backs of history, like you said, and the Naruto universe has a very messy history.
Yeah, I don't even think they should strive for perfection. I think it's a waste of time.
Oh, there you
go. Like even with Madara trying to put them in the infinite Tsukuyomi, like, that created a contrast that showed them what they didn't want, and they sought to stop it. Like no matter what you do, is going to create that contrast. Now I will say, because I was thinking about this with like AI and potential like assimilation into some like collective human hive mind in the future. When you create a system, when you create a system,
I messed your train of thought up with that.
Yeah. So say you have like a matriarchy is the first system. So then that casts out young boys who, blah blah blah. They'll burn the village to feel the warmth of blah blah blah, right? So in that system creates a shadow that is born. That patriarchy is born from that system. If you think matriarchy is like the source, whatever, some women think that. But then it's like, okay, well, I don't like patriarchy. Let's return back to a matriarchy. It's like, well, the matriarchy will be born from the patriarchy, and that cycle, that wheel will continue on and on and on and on and on. The only way to maintain a system is to become increasingly authoritarian, because you need to shape the minds of the people in that system so that contrast won't spark within them. So you propagandize them and so on and so forth. That's what you can kind of see in the real world as well. And by kind of, I mean you definitely can. So given that that's the case, Madara's plan is basically the hive mind AI assimilation type thing, to where if everybody is like under one kind of umbrella and you don't even have the capability of thinking outside of the quote unquote hive mind, then that is an actual solution to the problem. It is a form of utopia, but from an external standpoint, you kill your species because there's no progression or movement like at all. But yeah, so that's what it is.
Interesting. I feel like afterwards I'll think of another way to word it as well, and probably type that too, because I feel like I might not be wording it in the best kind of way. I'll have to listen to this back to see where maybe like a misunderstanding is on somewhere. I don't know. Someone's confused somewhere. I don't know who it is or where it is, but something's happening, because I feel like we agree. But
well, do like a in conclusion type of thing. Like
yeah.
concise as you can, so I can like maybe.
So okay, the idea, well, it's not really a synthesis. I'm going to say something new here. What I was just saying a minute ago, at the end of the series, Naruto is against Madara, and Sasuke's doing the Madara path. He's doing his own path, but it's on the Madara kind of angle of it. You go to the Boruto era, it's the same thing. Naruto and Sasuke are still butting heads. Naruto is still saying no about the shinobi humankind based on Boruto, and Sasuke saying yes. You look at that, Madara would have said what Sasuke said about Boruto. And then you still got Naruto versus Madara. So here's my thing. You look
To be
at
fair, though, they would have said it with a very different connotation, because Madara would have been from a pessimistic point of view, saying, "Oh yeah, just like all shinobi, they never change. They all suck." Basically, whereas Sasuke is saying, like, "No, it's still shinobi's still the same. That they endure, they don't give up." Like, he's saying it in a positive way, whereas Madara would be saying it in a more negative way.
Well, I think that's also perspective, though, because they're saying the same thing, and they're meaning the same thing. But the byproduct of that isn't the same thing. Sasuke can think it's a good thing that humans not changing is a good thing, but he can just be wrong, whereas Madara could just be right. And I think the series is presenting Madara as right and Sasuke as wrong, and that kind of idea.
I disagree, because in the Momoshiki arc, again, you must say Naruto separate, whatever. But in the Boruto series, I think they're presenting it as being bad with Boruto there.
Well, why is that the case? Because I'm not saying that, oh, they're presenting Naruto as the actual correct. No, they're presenting Sasuke as the correct one on the bet. But I think that Sasuke doesn't realize it, but he wishes Naruto was right.
Why do you say that?
Because I think
Why
that
does
matters.
Sasuke wish Naruto's Yeah, but well, that would be you then. Okay, why do you think Sasuke wishes Naruto was right?
No, I'm saying that it's because Sasuke has Naruto's ideology now, because Naruto forced it on him at the end of Shippuden. Sasuke emotionally conceded.
I'm getting the impression that you're saying it more from the like when we texted Mello saying you wish you were alive right now. Like, are you saying it like that, or are you saying that Sasuke is just thinking in his head, "Oh, I wish."
No,
the times did change
Sasuke
the
doesn't know it. Sasuke thinks him being right is good. That's what Sasuke thinks. But in actuality, what I'm saying is that Sasuke being right is not good, and Sasuke doesn't realize that.
Yeah, so to answer my question, you were doing what we were doing with Mello when you said Sasuke wishes Naruto was right. That's what you were doing. All right. Anyway, see, my problem with that though is the way it's presented with the Boruto movie. I don't think, like, yeah, you want to say Madara or whatever, but like he just
well, no, I think it's
like
presented in the Boruto
movies.
movie in a very good way, coming off of the end of Naruto, because Sasuke is being Naruto there, because that's what Naruto made Sasuke.
Yeah, but they're not portraying this as a negative thing. They're doing this very positively. It's a good thing that the soul of the shinobi doesn't change in terms of how it's presented.
But you're looking at the surface level because you're not considering Shippuden for that.
No, I don't think they
That's
are
the
really
illusion.
either. They literally they when they see Momoshiki, they're like making fun of Sasuke, like, reminds me of someone I know. Like, let's go beat him up and teach him a lesson too. Like the movie's not making it seem like the old Sasuke is the right one. Like that's not what they're trying to convey. Like,
well, no, it's not an old versus new Sasuke. It's the same Sasuke. It's the Naruto Sasuke versus the Sasuke Sasuke. Because again, Sasuke disagrees with Naruto, just like he did at the end of Shippuden.
Not in that what I was just referring to.
So, Kamui.
They're looking at Momoshiki saying, like, reminds me of Sasuke. That's what they're doing.
So, Kamui, let's go back to the premise. Let's assume the Naruto series is obviously clearly saying Madara's correct. That's the takeaway. You apply that to the Boruto movie. I can give
you that all I want, but I don't think the Boruto movie was continuing that in that case.
So how do you think it's inconsistent from that, based on what I've said?
Because it's all peaches and daisies, hunky dory. It's all good that the Soul of the Shinobi didn't change.
But that's exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, because I don't think the series was ever trying to say Madara is right, but regardless of that point.
Exactly, Kamui, you're ignoring the premise. Because Naruto always thought that. Naruto always thought he was right, regardless if he was right or not.
But Oodie, but regardless of that, what in the Boruto movie made it seem like it was bad that the Soul of the Shinobi didn't change?
See, you're already wording it incorrectly by saying in the Boruto movie, because the Boruto movie is just continuing Naruto.
Yeah, but it's making its own standalone movie.
You're not wrong, but it's also a Naruto Boruto the movie
series.
Okay, Kamui, you can say that. What is the first word in the title of the Boruto movie?
Boruto.
No, is it not Naruto?
It's Boruto. Naruto the movie. Or is it Naruto Boruto movie?
Okay, Kamui.
Hold on, let's look at it right now. Let's look it up, because actually now you've got me second guessing. Which way is it?
Yeah. See, okay, this has proved my point.
Boruto movie. It's Boruto, Naruto the movie. Okay, I was right. Yep.
So, okay, Kamui, you're gonna laugh, but I'm still gonna spin this to where I'm right anyways. So, the title of the movie is Boruto, but it's a Naruto movie.
Well, no. It's a Boruto movie about Naruto.
It's a Naruto movie titled Boruto. It's right there in the title.
No. It's Naruto the movie. It's a Boruto movie of Naruto.
Well, it's definitely not a Boruto movie of Naruto.
Well, I mean, it kind of is.
Well, no, I would describe it as the opposite. It is a Naruto movie of Boruto.
But it's not.
Yes, it is. That is okay, Kamui, this is a community poll right here.
Okay. Either way, but to answer your question, the first part of the movie is Boruto.
Yeah. But obviously, like, how... So, okay, Kamui, assuming that Madara is supposed to be presented as correct, how do you want Naruto to be presented in the Boruto movie? To be consistent with the end of Shippuden as well, by the way, which you don't have a problem with.
Yeah,
because here's the thing. If Madara is correct, and Naruto never once thinks that, then there you go.
I feel like I'd be focusing more on the world. Like, the 5 Kage just wouldn't be at peace. like there'd just be major problems with the 5 Kage in that movie. Like, I wouldn't be writing the same movie, I feel like.
Well, to be fair, there's still conflict with the world. Outside of the Otsutsuki, Boruto felt the need to cheat. Yeah, but not in that
movie. In the movie, it's all peaches and daisies.
Well, no, because outside of the Otsutsuki, you still have the conflict with Boruto cheating and the father stuff.
Okay, but that's not the type of conflict that Naruto was, like, fighting about in Naruto.
Well, it's still conflict, that's what Madara said.
You can say that Madara wants there to be no basketball game conflict or whatever. I don't care. But that's not what Naruto's worried about in the story. He's not worried about whether it was a close basketball game and you really want to win. Okay, it's not what he's arguing about.
Because we're portraying this through the characters. By the way, I think this is a good thing that Naruto never thinks that Madara is correct. If Madara is correct and Naruto doesn't think that, to me, okay, would you agree if Madara is correct and Naruto always disagrees? Does that just prove Madara's point further? Because I think it would.
Which point?
About humanity and their stubbornness and that they'll never agree. They'll always fight back, their resistance to change, all of that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess by default, because the alternative would just be him agreeing, which would definitely not help Madara's point.
But he doesn't even consider it. It's not about, Madara, I thought about it and I truly can't agree with it. He's like, nah, I'm not even gonna screw you, Madara. It's a lie. That's just
But to be fair, if
wrong.
Obito agreed
He's
with
being
Madara for a
Hanji
time,
about genocide.
but if Obito, under your interpretation, did agree with Madara, because I don't think you would disagree with that, then he's proven Madara wrong, because they did agree.
Because who agreed? Naruto and you said they. Who's they?
Obito and Madara agreed, right?
Obito agreed with Madara.
Yeah, so he proved Madara wrong. People will agree. They can change their minds.
Well, no, again, this goes back to, I think Obito always agreed. He just didn't realize it yet.
Okay, then he unagreed later on. He changed.
No, Naruto forced that on him. Anyways. With that out of the way. I did want your interpretation on my thoughts on the Boruto stuff with the Madara stuff, if I can just say that and you understand what I mean. Your ultimate conclusion on all of that.
Are you saying you're gonna say something now and then get my opinion, or are you asking for my opinion on things that were previously stated?
Your opinion on things that were previously stated.
But I already answered this.
You didn't give a conclusion.
I don't think the Boruto series was doing anything with Madara, like I said.
I don't mean the Boruto movie. And I'm not saying whether it's doing something or not. This is about assuming Madara is right. Do you think the Boruto series went in a good direction? As opposed... The direction to where Naruto is a character that Mello would hate, as opposed to Gojo or All Might, who you don't know who All Might is, but Gojo.
I still don't think the Gojo thing really matters to the Madara thing personally. In terms of the other question, just did they go in the right direction for that? I'm just gonna say no, because it feels like the Soul of the Shinobi not changing was a positive thing in the Boruto movie / franchise. That was the flash forward scene, same idea. It seems like it's presented as a good thing. The 5 Kage in the movie, I know the novels, they're about to start a war. Okay, well, good thing that's only in the novels and not anywhere remotely implied to be the case in any other continuity. It doesn't feel like they've done anything to really make Madara feel like, if Madara is supposed to be right, I feel like they're not approaching that correctly. Now, of course, you could say, well, there's still darkness in the world. There's Kara and stuff. Oh, it's Madara, right? But the point is that they're making progress with Naruto. They're not saying he's gonna have 100% perfect world peace instantly tomorrow. It's that they're gonna keep making progress. They keep making changes. They're gonna keep working towards something better and better. Well, if they are just at a better state than they were in Madara's day, it's like, if they want Madara to look as right as possible, I probably wouldn't have them making any progress. I'd have them be exactly where they were before, if not worse.
Well,
so I would say no. They haven't gone in the right direction.
On that, I would say Madara's day would be infinite Tsukiyomi, and they're definitely not making that much progress.
By Madara's day, I meant Warring States.
I know. And also the darkness of Kara, blah, blah. I'm not going to count that. That's external factors anyways. I mean, it's literally
Otsutsuki. It's from another planet.
I mean, it still counts because, universe conflict, blah, blah, blah. The fact it can exist in the first place, but it's not humankind, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, even then, world, if we're going to go with the world to Earth, okay, they're coming from another planet. They're coming from another universe, another solar system, galaxy, whatever. It's so...
Yeah.
Just out. Yeah.
No, but I think it still technically counts because it could just be any unknown factor that doesn't exist yet. It doesn't have to be an alien. It could be a new virus that just mutated over time from whatever was that, and it just wipes out all of that
That's
idea
not really
that
what Madara is
canon.
commenting on. He's commenting on more like he's not commenting on viruses. He's mostly focused on that duality of man stuff. So it's like
I mean, I think it's
not
all
really his point.
included. He doesn't have to say
I
literally
mean, it
everything.
could be included, but it's not his point.
Yeah, but like but I think everything is his
It's not
point.
what he's
Like,
trying to say about the world is that there could be new virus tomorrow. Like that's not his message. It's more about the duality man shit.
like, I understand Madara didn't say being attacked by a polar bear, but that's included. You know, spontaneous human combustion where you burst into flames and die from whatever that is.
But that's not why. That wasn't the leading factor in why he wants to do any of this. Okay, it was the duality man shit. Like,
but if you take all the other factors away, and that's the only factor left, the spontaneous human combustion and the polar bears, those are the only two factors, Madara still tries to do it. He doesn't just give up.
I don't think so. I don't think he ever would have started this path if that was the only thing.
Well, it's not about starting it, because that'd be about experience at that point. It would be he would stay on the path if he's already on the path, if those are the only two things. If everything is removed, then yeah, he wouldn't care to do the path if he's already on it.
No, if like honestly the world just was if he was convinced that people could see inside each other's guts and everything was all hunky dory there and world peace blah blah, he was just convinced all that was perfect now. But oh no, there's polar bears. I don't think he's starting Infinite Tsukuyomi.
No, I disagree. So what you don't think he's doing it, but if he's but there are polar bears. So no, I disagree. I think hypothetically, if Hashirama managed to do it, he did do it. He solved world hunger. Okay, and
Madara is convinced that this is the case.
Yes, Madara is convinced this is the case. Madara used his wood style. He put a seed that just constantly made food into everyone's stomach. He solved world's hunger. He extracted Kimimara's DNA and put everyone in the world has iron strength bones, etc. He just fixed everything. All world is at peace forever. Madara knows this. I don't think he wants to put the world under Infinite Tsukuyomi.
I agree, but like I'm saying that, but oh no, there's polar bears. I think he's still not going to do the Infinite Tsukuyomi. I don't think the polar bear is going to tip him off.
If there's polar bears, I think he would.
Nah, bro. Well, first of all, the polar bears just wouldn't be a threat in this case.
Okay, well, that's hilarious. But let's say Hashirama does world peace, then Hashirama dies. Well, first of all, that's already a paradox. Because if Hashirama solved everything, then he couldn't die. But also, if he solved everything, then new problems couldn't arise, which would also be a point.
Well, what if Hashirama solved everything at the cost of his life, to where that was going into it, like Hashirama's death was like necessary for him to solve everything else?
Would Madara view that as perfect, though?
Well, it's perfect now.
But now is off of the back of Shinobi history, which is messy. So I don't think he would view it as perfect.
Well, even with Infinite Tsukuyomi, it's not going to change the past. Like change their memory. Well, actually, I don't even know that it does change their memories of the past, or maybe it does.
I think it would be similar to Eren. From like season 1, Attack on Titan, to where he's inside the walls, and the walls have had peace for 100 years, but Eren's not satisfied because the outside world, Eren knows it's not good, and blah blah blah, but he's not content, despite what he has.
I mean, that's kind of like Madara with the Leaf Village thing, but
yeah, there you go.
But in this hypothetical where the outside was perfect, Hashirama fixed the Otsutsuki clan too. I don't know that the polar bears is gonna.
Well, it's because Madara wouldn't want. He could fix the polar bear. He could just kill all the polar bears. Madara wouldn't want to fix the polar bears because the polar bears were a problem. Problems can exist. Even in a perfect world, problems can still come about. New problems can spawn out of nowhere.
Well, then it's not a perfect world.
It will, exactly.
So
But
was he
I think-
convinced it was perfect or not?
Well, but that's the thing. That's what Naruto's striving for. He's not striving for true perfection. Because that's, first of all, never going to happen.
Yeah.
But in this case, Hashirama would be content and not care to make it a truly perfect world as long as it's the illusion of a perfect world. By fixing everything that's a problem now, rather than everything that could be a problem in the future. Which I think is what Naruto did to an extent. Not fully, but you get the idea.
I mean, like, again, this hypothetical is going to boil down to whether what Madara was actually convinced or not. Then, like,
Well, but exactly, because... Well, but again, that doesn't make
I'm
sense.
saying if he is convinced, then he's just not going to do it.
But
But if
I
he
mean,
wasn't convinced, okay, that's fine. He's going to do it because he wasn't convinced.
but then the hypothetical doesn't make sense in the first place. How is Madara ever going to be convinced it's a truly perfect world if there's polar bears that are a problem? Madara's not going to believe it's truly perfect under any scenario if there's polar bears.
Like, because but like, define problem in this context, like
Polar bears are eating people.
but that's the thing, though. Like, but if polar bears are such this huge problem, they're going around eating people. It's probably not going to be remotely convinced that this world is any good. Like,
That's
it's
my
just too
point.
ridiculous.
So,
like,
but that
they
was
have to
the
be, they have to be
conception
a
of the
complete
thought.
non-problem, like in real life. Like, polar bears aren't running around eating people. Like, we're not worried about that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
And
let me.
Madara's not seemingly not like some. There should only be humans and other animals shouldn't exist because they're predator. He seems to let the animals live. You know, I feel like he's not an animal hater. So, like, if he's gonna keep animals, then he's gonna keep the cycle of life and death with animals eating each other and food chains and whatnot. If he's gonna do that, then I don't think he's going to be worried about polar bears. Unless there's these crazy man-eating monsters going around wrecking villages, but then he's never going to be convinced anything that bees in that case. So
Well, that depends if we think Madara thought instinct was a good thing, or if it was abysmal, like chakra, or those filthy tailed beasts. Like, what did Madara think about that? That's
I
another
guess he
interesting
canonically
idea.
thinks the tail beasts are filthy, but is that because they haven't showered? Is that because they're tail beasts? Or is that because he doesn't like animals? You know?
I'm assuming it's because chakra, which he views as abysmal, and tailed beasts are chakra.
Yeah, I think it's more the tailed beast aspect, but...
Well, you emphasize tailed as if them having tails was the problem.
Well, not because they have tails, but I'm trying to emphasize that they're like the tailed bees. That's I'm trying to get the 9-tailed bees. Is the point? They're like the 10 tails portions.
Yeah, you know, if only Matatabi just didn't project those fire tails.
Hey, you know, if she didn't have tails, Madara might not care.
You know, if Gamabunta just cut off Shukaku's sand tail, it just doesn't reform it. There you go.
Hey, Madara messed it up. Gamabunta. It's got enough tail.
Let's pivot back to the idea, since you don't have... So, this is also part of my point, because this wasn't really a thing for you in the first place. It was a thing for Mello. You don't have problems with Boruto in the same way that Mello does. Your problems with...
Yeah.
Mello's problems with Boruto are not your problems. You think Mello is
The
wrong.
only one I would kind of agree with, and it's not really a fault of Naruto. It's more just like in the Jigen fight. Yes, I would have preferred to see them do more things that they could. Like if Naruto's gonna have the tail beast powers, Izatsu's gonna have the Rinnegan powers. Yes, I would like them to use it more because you're not gonna convince me that Almighty Push isn't a good counter for those tiny runs that Sasuke can see, but has trouble dodging physically because he can just Almighty Push them out of the way. You know, like you're not gonna convince me that that's not useful. But that's really the only one. Other than that, I have like zero issues.
And that's obviously you're just like saying that as a side thing. But like earlier, what I'm doing here is I'm categorizing it in the context of the conversation of obviousness rather than like saying
like I'm not mad
things.
that Naruto does bad dad problems and isn't running around being Gojo. Like I'm not
so that's the
that.
things that I would be obviously talking about when I say that in the first place. But so you disagree. You think Mello's wrong with that. I don't think Mello's wrong.
I don't necessarily think he's wrong.
Well, just hear me out for the point of my point,
Yeah.
because I'm using words here the way I'm using them. The difference between your perspective on it and my perspective on it is, again, just hear me out. You think Mello's wrong.
Well, I think I know what you're gonna say.
Whereas I don't think Mello's wrong on his interpretation, but I disagree with Mello on it being bad. I agree with Mello's interpretation, but I think it's a good thing because it's what, coming out of Shippuden, thinking Madara's right, it's what I would expect it's what I would expect Naruto to be. And I think that's a good thing.
Well, for me, the difference is that I don't think he's necessarily wrong, like Naruto's a bad dad or whatnot. I'm more so saying like it's good because it gave him a character, like it gave him a character arcs and narrative and blah blah blah.
Well, I agree with that as well. I agree with both of them at the same time.
The difference is that for me, I couldn't care less if Madara is right or wrong. Whereas it's your baby, it's your child. You want to feed it cookies and candy and cake and ice cream, and you want to kiss it and do all the craziest things of all time to Madara being right or wrong. It's your number one priority in life. I really don't care. Not on my mind. When I watched Boruto, it was not on my mind whether Madara was right or wrong. The only time Madara being right or wrong ever came into question is when the Boruto anime was talking about, in Boruto's cult, talk about Infinite Tsukuyomi. That's the only time that really came into question again.
Only because they're directly talking about it, which is also part of the
problem. Exactly. The story was making you have to think about it. Whereas from then on, it wasn't a theme of Boruto. I wasn't focusing on it.
So real quick, just tangent off of that. We'll come back to this. We agree that characters can be extensions of other characters. Kimimaro was an extension of Orochimaru in the Sasuke retrieval arc.
Yeah.
I think the same can be said about not just characters, but concepts. Neji was an extension of Destiny. Naruto didn't overcome Neji. He overcame Destiny when he defeated Neji.
Uh-huh.
Madara is an extension of the world. This is important because...
Well, I mean, so is everyone.
I mean this in the most direct way possible.
I mean, honestly...
Because at the same time, you could say that about Destiny. Everyone's an extension of Destiny.
They're not too far different, but if I was going to pick a character to use this on, I would have picked Sasuke over Madara. Because they really try to make that a point with Sasuke.
No, I know, I agree. So you're referring to byproduct of the Shinobi system. I'm not referring to the Shinobi. I'm referring to the world as a whole.
Yeah, but in Naruto, again, the raindrops being separate from the Shinobi system, it's not influencing Madara. I don't care how many Plato's caves he's been in, but the raindrops was just not the factor. Okay, the puddle that the Demon Brothers made, it just wasn't the thing. The temperature being 79 instead of 78 degrees, it wasn't the thing. It's very much again, Madara can say, back in the day, but pre-Shinobi history, there's these problems with humanity. Okay, humanity related things, I'm all for. Byproducts of humanity. That's what you mean. I'm all for it. But I'm just not going to include those damn raindrops in Madara and pretend like it was affecting Madara any more than Sasuke. That's I'm drawing the line there.
Okay, Kamui, but again, yeah. I feel like we're being intentionally ridiculous by accounting for all things instead of the common sense things I would be categorizing. So I'm not categorizing the raindrops. So you look at the Land of Waves, all shinobi are human, no matter how much we try to escape that fact. Cycle of Hatred, that's a shinobi thing. Why is it a shinobi? It's because it's actually realistically, a human thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because shinobi are emotionalist tools serving their villages on missions.
Criteria that I laid out.
Yeah, so vengeance, revenge, emotions, those are all human things. It's not shinobi tools serving their village out on a mission. Obviously, Sasuke is byproduct of the shinobi world. Obviously, it applies more than just shinobi. I feel like Madara, that applies more to world human stuff.
Okay, you see, you're emphasizing human. That's within the criteria I said.
It affects Madara more than Sasuke.
The human versus shinobi part is what we're focusing on, right?
Focusing on is interesting, but there's a distinction I'm drawing here for the point.
Well, my initial point was byproduct of humanity, I'm all for. World is going a little too far because now we're including all these nonsensical things that have nothing to do with it. So are we on the same page there?
No, because I do think
You're making the distinction of Sasuke, shinobi, Madara, humanity. Is that correct?
It's not because I do think it's farther than that, because your favorite word of all time, nexuses. I mean, you can say whatever. You don't even need nexuses. Madara's advocating for all winners rather than winners or losers. All light instead of light or darkness. That's not something Sasuke is like related to at all. You don't need the word nexus for that. And that's beyond humanity.
Well, I'm not gonna disagree, but you could because of like what they focus on. But you can just argue that all that applies to the Sasuke situations to say that it just applies anyway. It's not like the focus, but then again, in terms of experiences, it's not like the winners and losers was really the focus with Madara either. It's just something he's bringing up. So you can say he's focused in that sense, but not in terms of his experiences so much. But otherwise, I would just say, okay, Madara lost. Okay, Sasuke lost too. Then I'm just going to equate the two in that case. So I feel like you can apply all the things to Sasuke as much. The difference is that Madara is saying these more abstract things to Obito, whereas with Sasuke, they keep saying the shinobi world. But like, to be fair, in Naruto, the shinobi world is the world, and that is just what they do with the story. They don't make a distinction with the Ridaku lands that's not shinobi. I guess the closest thing to that's the samurai, where it's all freaking the same thing anyway.
Yeah. So I'm just going to allow all of that elaboration that you just did without commenting on it, because you started it off by saying you're not gonna disagree, and that's what I'm gonna just continue based off of.
I changed my mind. I disagree.
Well, I am going to ignore that.
No, we gotta end. I'm afraid we'll have to end it there.
Okay. I'm gonna ignore your disagreement. So my point here, Madara is an extension of the world. You don't have to have Naruto fight or overcome Madara.
Out of curiosity, would you prefer, dislike, or have no differing feelings between if I said Madara is a byproduct of the world as opposed to extension? Do you like that more, dislike it, or feel neutral as a comparison?
I dislike it. I think that Madara's an advocate for the world. He's giving
what do you mean when you say that?
He's giving the world a voice. He's giving it a way to influence others or whatever.
Well, the problem though is that the world's evil, blah blah blah. I don't think the world wants to change.
Well, yeah. I think he's acting for the world. In the same way, Kimimara's acting for Orochimaru.
That's why I said advocate. Like an advocate for the world of wanting to make it better, absolutely. But is he giving the world a voice? Well, no. I guess you could say he's doing it, but he's not giving it the world's voice. He's doing the opposite of what the world says, actually.
He's being the world. He's doing what the world would do if it had a physical embodiment.
No, because the world would disagree with what Madara is doing.
Why?
If it agreed, it would have done it already.
Done what?
I just made it perfect.
Well, I mean,
the world doesn't want to be perfect.
I mean, Madara's ideology.
It's not. That's not what the world stands. The world's on the opposite end. He wants to change it by force. So he and the world would be at odds.
So when I say Madara's ideology, I don't mean the changing it part. Madara wants to change it because of what the world is. That's what I'm referring to.
So are you saying that when Madara gives it a voice, when he says, "Oh, there's light, there's shadows," and blah blah blah, he's quoting the world?
Yes.
Okay. But that's not Madara being an okay, and that's how you're saying he's an extension.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but the problem, I get what you're saying, so I'm not gonna say you're wrong. But like the problem with that is, okay, so when Jiraiya says Orochimaru is gonna take Sasuke's body, are we gonna say Jiraiya is an extension of Orochimaru? Like, is that what we're doing?
I mean, I don't feel like this needs to apply to literally everything. That could just be exposition.
That's
rather than an extension of Orochimaru, that's just an extension of the author communicating information logistically to the audience.
Okay, but what if you just say the same with Madara then?
You can't do that. What information is being conveyed that's necessary for the story?
That the world sucks.
You've already done that.
How?
Bro,
Because you're saying it's not just the shinobi system. They've shown that this shinobi system sucks, like with Pain, for example.
Notice how I haven't started to be able to get to my point from the get-go for the past 10 minutes because we've just been semantically arguing this for no reason.
Well, there's a reason.
Yeah, stupid one.
Hey, it's your fault for saying the words you say.
At every turn, Kamui, every turn, you make this as difficult as possible.
No offense, but like you're bringing it upon yourself by bringing up these topics.
Oh,
you're not going into it. If there's a single word I question from you, I'm going to question it. I'm not gonna sit here and let you say that pineapples are green, or the inside of a pineapple is green. And just pretend like whoa, like, what do you say there? Like, nah, I'm gonna question where are you getting that from.
Kamui.
Is it from the green eggs and ham? Like, I'm gonna ask.
You have to let me finish my pot. If I'm saying pineapples are green when they're fresh, you can't just interrupt me at pineapples are green because pineapples are actually orange.
Because I'll be like, well, wait. Is that true? How do you know that?
Well, first of all, that is true. Pineapples can be green, but that's another story.
The inside of them?
No, the outside.
I specified the inside, but I said the green thing earlier. Because yes, I know the outside's green. That's why, because green was the color I wanted to use. So that's why I was like, the inside, I mean. Like,
oh my god. If I'm getting to a point, you have to let me finish the point first. Which is a point of the preamble in the first place.
Oh my god, my headphones are dying.
Okay. Anyways, Kamui, my point is, let's just assume Madara is an extension of the world. You know, that controversial statement, apparently.
Assuming he's byproduct of the world.
So assuming Madara is an extension of the world, Naruto doesn't have to directly, physically, or ideologically clash with Madara to overcome him. He just has to do that with the world. And do we think he did that? Well, we kind of have an answer in Boruto. It's pretty definitively no. Which means that Naruto failed. He didn't overcome Madara because he didn't overcome the world. He didn't make the perfect world like he set out to do.
See, the problem is I have something I want to say that you're just not going to like.
I mean, I believe you.
and it's to an amount that makes me unsure if I want to say it.
So
I feel like it's gonna like crush your soul.
The end of Naruto is give me time and believe in me and I'll find an answer. And yeah, they've made progress in Boruto, but how much time does Naruto need? It's been so many years. And in some ways, some things have only got worse, like the Rain Village.
So, not only are you going to disagree with it, it's just like, it's just going to be like I don't know how, I'm not gonna say it because we wouldn't reach a consensus. I feel like the mere thought of you saying this would just rip your heart in two. So I won't. But
Okay,
just
Kamui,
know
what if...
that I have something I could say.
Okay, are you doing this because you don't want to have this infinitely long conversation, or because you're just empathetic to my emotions?
Both.
Because I was going to say, if it's the first one and not the second one, we could end a stream with you saying it, so I can't address it.
You could. I mean, again, it won't. I don't think it will crush your soul because you'll just disagree. But the thought, if you were to assume it was the case, that would probably crush your soul. You'd rip your Madara thesis and you'd rip it into shreds, say it's all for nothing. Like,
well, if there's counter evidence, I love to hear it so that I can only strengthen my own side. Let me consider this thing that I apparently have never thought
think you'll
of.
consider it.
I would love to consider it, Kamui. If I'm unaware of it, then I would love to consider it.
So, I don't know the best way to phrase this perfectly, but like, okay, so I know you don't agree about Madara's death scene ending conclusions.
He literally says Hashirama's naive.
No, he doesn't.
That's like one of the first things he says. Naive as always, Hashirama.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean. But he also says, but perhaps that's the correct way. Like, with the way he dies and the way Kishimoto frames it, and especially in light of what you were saying about like the Boruto, like, so obviously Naruto did not make it to where people can't lose, like everyone wins the basketball game. Like, he can't do that. And I don't think Madara ever thought that that was going to happen. Yet he's dying with the idea that perhaps this way of like just make it a little bit better is the correct way. And I forgot exactly what I was going to say earlier, but like some of this stuff makes it seem like I had a way of wording it earlier that was way better.
Well, you're right. So far, I only disagree, but I'm not soul crushed in the slightest. So, are we getting to that point?
Like, basically, so like again, because I don't remember the way I had it earlier before I stalled was better, but like almost. I'm just gonna jump to this way now. Almost like Madara just didn't care about the other things, actually.
So I just looked at my script to see what I said. And maybe you'll like this semantical word better. Rather than extension of the word, what I wrote is Madara is a representation of the world. Do you prefer
I like that better than extension. Yes. I do. But
okay.
But so in reference to whatever you said in a question, it's almost like Madara just wouldn't care about those other things based on this conclusion. I wish I just said it the first time because I had a better sentence for the thought. But the part that would crush your soul under assuming it's true is the Madara doesn't care part in this case, I suppose.
So, Kamui, let me just read the script that I have here. It's not long. I'll just paraphrase this part of it. The conclusion is the same regardless. We see the results. Naruto didn't confront Madara, but Madara was a representation of the world which did beat Naruto. That proved Madara right. There you go.
Is that in reference to when the world beating Naruto? Is that a reference to Boruto's stuff again?
I'm just assuming based on that part of it. If we assume only that,
because otherwise I don't see what in Naruto would have worked with that.
Because based on that part alone, it's saying we see the results. So if I saw just that part, then I would assume it would be in reference to Boruto, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't realize you were even doing Boruto in that script, but because saying Naruto, let's see where you're getting there, but
Well, I'm not necessarily doing Boruto in that script. I was paraphrasing just that one small part. We're only taking that part out of context.
I don't know anymore. But regardless, there's something you said earlier that
Well, here's the thing.
yeah,
Kishimoto shows us how Naruto does this very thing. How does he overcome the concept of destiny, of which Neji represents? He beats Neji. Naruto didn't beat Madara, and he doesn't overcome the concept of the world in the same way. Like, we see him overcome destiny. He doesn't do that with the world, regardless of what he does with Madara or not.
well, it depends, because if you could interpret Kaguya as a representation of the world as well.
I represent her
Because-
as, like, the beginning.
Yeah, but you could also interpret, especially in light of the Madara story of Kaguya with the wars and eating the fruit and stuff, you could just put her in the same position. Especially
Madara's
since
the
Madara literally
reason-
became Kaguya.
Yeah, I mean, Madara's the reason. Kaguya is the reason people got chakra, which is arguably the reason that conflict exists, except not really, because they're already
Well, no,
at Kaguya.
Madara is saying it's not really the
Exactly,
reason,
even in the
before
manga. And even
But
then,
it's Kaguya, she of the beginning. She can't just be the representation of the world. I mean, she's like basically the owner of the world, and she's the goddess of the world, and blah blah blah.
she
It's
ate a
her
chakra fruit
nursery,
to stop the wars. So
Yeah. So like, you could interpret her as the representation of the world, and then they did beat Kaguya. So you could just say that role was passed from Madara to Kaguya, essentially. In which case, Naruto would have overcome the world and therefore overcome Madara.
I disagree, because I think Kaguya
Which
more
is
so...
why Madara can have the conversation with Hashirama that he does without it just being like, well, you never beat me. He's taking the loss.
No, I think that Kaguya more so represented chakra than the world. I think chakra represented a lot of conflict, because that'd be ninjutsu versus ninju, which gets back to Hagoromo and the Ten Tails and all sorts of stuff there. But even then, like, Indra's the one who invented hand signs, so it couldn't even be a thing until then. So it's already just all over the place.
Yeah, but I mean, whether or not she represents chakra doesn't mean she can't represent the world too, because Madara can represent more than one thing. He can
Yeah, I
represent
just
the
don't-
ghost of the Uchiha, you know.
I just
So-
don't particularly see Kaguya as a representation of the world. Like, how are you getting to that in particular?
Like I said, the Madara story of her and
Well, but what does that do?
Um,
You're just saying a scene. What does that mean about representation of the world?
because like the world, like basically the world's at war, and in an attempt to stop the war, she essentially just created more wars. Duality, man. She'd be a power hungry tyrant. Like, she wants to stop it with conflict, but then yet just creates conflict because you crave both at the same time. And she's the ultimate power too, so it's like the pinnacle of all that. It's also like she's literally, oh, the world's my nursery. She's the goddess who controls it all, and blah blah blah. Like, you know, you could just easily say that she fits the role as well.
I mean, I think that not only was Kaguya not aware of that, but obviously Kaguya didn't say that.
She needs to be
unlike
aware of
Madara.
it, and you don't need to be aware of what you're a representation of to be a representation of it.
That's arguable. Sauron, what do you think about that last point there, since that's the only thing you heard?
Probably. Didn't you say that like an hour or two ago that like
3 a.m. was just the cutoff, yes, and in fact, you would have been proud of me when I said something to disagree with Oodie and said, "Oh no, it's 3 a.m. I guess we'll have to end without you chapping back." But then here we are.
Wait, you said that? I didn't hear that at all.
It was something very close to that. I said that. Oh no, it's 3 a.m. I guess we'll have to. I did say that part.
You must have said it so goofily that I just didn't even like pay attention. I don't know.
I
Probably. I definitely did say it goofily.
I only came here to tell you should get off because you said that you would like to be told that.
You know what, Sauron? Thank you. So why don't you go ahead and tell Oodie he's wrong about the following point real quick, that you don't need to know you're a representation of something to be a representation of something.
I don't know what I'm agreeing to, but I agree with that.
Well, do you agree with what I just said?
Yeah.
Okay, then Oodie's wrong. Thank you. And that's the end of stream.
I'm gonna make that a community poll too. So stupid.
Okay. There's a really stupid community poll that I want you to do. Okay, we can even to make it I want to start with this one because it's the funny one I thought of first. But to make it fair, we'll do 3. So you're just gonna do is Oodie wrong? Yes or no? And then that'd be really funny. But knowing our viewers, we know how they're gonna vote. But to make it more fair,
that only
you can
proves
then
my point, by the way.
No, but then to make it more fun, you could also do is Kamui wrong? Yes or no? And then do is Sauron wrong? Yes or no? And let's just keep going down the chain. Is Mello wrong? Is Cam wrong? Is Miss Ann wrong? Just go through the list and just see how all our voters vote. Just do like for a week or two. Just do like all the main people. Is Immortal Phoenix wrong? Is Jonathan Oliver wrong?
Is Trippy wrong?
And just see how our Walky Talky viewers vote. It'd be fun.
I mean, I'm down.
Fun
After how
is Trippy
people...
wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you said that you read some of the comments on the rhyme posts or whatever. His comments were crashing out, bro. They're still doing it on the community polls from like today and yesterday that were not the rhyme thing. They're still crashing out about the rhyme thing on the not rhyme community polls.
Oh god, you see, I think this will be fun to see.
Oh my god, they're still talking about it. Like, it's just
what are they
funny.
saying?
They're saying all sorts of stuff, from like goofy stuff to just plain mean stuff, all sorts of stuff.
Okay, now you got me curious. I'll check it out. I guess in a minute, but we should actually know.
Okay.
My headphones are about to die anyway.
Ending now.
And then just for your information,